Hello and welcome to the BSU League of Legends podcast. Titles in the works. I'm Solemn Hawk. I'm here with Malkephus and Rico Best Girl.
Almost.
How you guys doing?
Almost.
I'm doing pretty good. So I'm a Diamond 5 top lane support main.
Might help if we know who's talking.
Fuck.
Dude, we're gonna lose all that YouTube
Restart?
monetization now. You
We can
swore.
restart?
It's over. No, we'll keep going.
Okay.
Oh god.
So I'm Rico Best Girl. I'm a Diamond 5 top lane support main. That's mostly it.
All right.
Legends.
How about you, Malcolm?
I'm Malkephus. I am a Bronze 1 mid laner.
Bronze 1. Oh boy, this is gonna
Hey,
be
you
a
know
long
what?
show.
I'm getting there.
And I'm Solemn Hawk, and I'm a Plat 3 support mid laner.
All right.
And today we figured we'd give a shot at doing a podcast. Go through some of the patch notes, talk about Worlds, and then talk about the big thing that everybody's talking about, which is North America changing back to best of ones. Oh boy.
All right, let's start with Worlds.
Alright, you want to start with Worlds?
Yeah, let's take a look at the groups here. So Group A, we've got SKT, EDG, Cloud9, and AHQ. Group B, we got Longzhu, Immortals, Gigabyte Marines, Fnatic. Group C is Samsung, RNG, G2, and Fenerbahce. And Group D is Flashwolves, TSM, WE, and Misfits.
So I think first off, what do you guys think the group of death is this year?
Ooh, that's actually kind of tough. I lean towards Group C,
Yeah.
thinking just that any single one of those people could take a game off anybody else most of the time. Unlike Group A, where I see there's a clear number 1 and then number 2's up in the air.
Yeah. It's either Group C or Group A, but I'm with you. I'm going to lean towards Group C.
See, I always like to think of group of death as I have no clue who's getting out. And in Group A, I only know SKT is getting out, but all the other three I feel like could take it. Whereas in Group C, it's only like Samsung's almost definitely getting out, and then it's either RNG or G2. And I don't really put Fenerbahce as a contender to get out of that group. So that's why I think Group A is, because like anyone can get out of that group.
You think? I don't think AHQ's on the same kind of a level.
Yeah,
I do think they're on way more of a level than the wild card, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
So
Play and show wildcards could do better, but not enough yet.
So what are your predictions for the groups? Who's getting out? I have for Group A SKT EDG. For Group B, I have Longzhu Immortals. Or actually, let's take a group at a time. So Group A.
Go group at a time.
Group A, I've got SKT EDG Cloud9 AHQ in that order.
Yeah, mine's the same exact way.
Then I'm gonna be the NA homeboy, and I got SKT
You're gonna-
C9 EDG.
You think Cloud9's going to take EDG? Okay, well,
I
do you
think
think
there's a
that,
chance.
or are you just like rooting for NA?
That is what my pick'em is.
Okay.
I think there's a chance for it.
So
And we all have AHQ fourth place in that group.
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a question for you. What do you think C9 has better than EDG?
Late game team fight insurance. There's always. I think C9 always has that one big play moment where they could turn the game.
Yeah,
And
like
we
where
saw it in
Jensen
play-ins, they
forgets
go
to
down
press
to
Zanya's
60-minute
or
games.
ulti.
All right, they can also throw the game, but they can also win the game. We saw it in play-ins. They had a 60-minute game, and they pulled it.
Yeah,
back
they
from,
pulled
I think
that
it was
one
a
back.
10K deficit.
Dude, that was a great game to watch.
See, I think EDG's bot lane is just so good. Like Mako is one of the best support. Like he's probably the best non-Korean support.
Who's the AD carry for EDG?
Oh, is it? It's not Mystic. That's. I think they swap some. They have two. I think. I forget who they use mostly.
I'll look it up.
But watching their bot lane versus RNG, they were just like crushing them.
Which is true, but we were hearing RNG is not actually.
iBoy.
People think they're not
iBoy.
really
And
the
there's someone
number
else
one.
too,
Yeah,
right?
it's either iBoy or Zet. Is their active roster.
From what I remember, iBoy looked like he was a lot better.
Huh.
Maybe it's because they both speak Chinese.
But I think we all agree SKT's taking number one in the group.
Yeah, SKT's taking number one in that group. What do you guys think about SKT taking Huni over what's the other guy's name?
Antara.
Yeah, Antara.
Yeah.
So my thought process behind it is the SKT look pretty much untouchable in playoffs, especially. Well, I mean they went down 0-2 to KT, but then they reverse swept with Blank because they have a good thing going on where I think they talk about if they have two people they can talk about the matchups and then the other jungle can come in. But I don't think that's going to be that big an issue. I think the bigger issue is when they went against Longzhu, Untara just couldn't do anything against Khan, and I think bringing Huni in, their one win against Longzhu was with Huni. And I think
You
it's 'cause,
basically
like,
took my answer.
yeah, I think SKT went through and thought the only team we were worried about is Longzhu, and we need Huni's playstyle to beat Longzhu.
You don't think SKT is worried about Samsung or Flash Wolves?
Not to Longzhu's level, no.
No,
They
Oh.
know they have trouble with the top lane carry, kind of a team comp,
Yeah,
and
okay.
Longzhu plays it.
I think SKT taking not taking Huni and just like only taking Untara would have been like a sign of defeat. Saying that, like,
I think we agree, though, that SKT Worlds needs to be 2 subs.
I just don't get why they even limit the subs. Like, you don't have limited subs in your region, so like, why do you have limited subs for
I think you
Worlds?
do. You have to have a max of 5.
Yeah,
But I understand what you're saying, yeah.
yeah.
I think
That's fair.
I think they're gonna change that in the future. I feel like I heard that somewhere on either like Riot's Dive podcast or something like that. But I do find it interesting that they decided to bring the two junglers, Peanut and who's the other guy? I can't remember
Blank.
any of the SKT members.
Blank,
I know
Blank.
Faker's on there somewhere. I think he's a support.
Yeah.
So I think SKT does a really cool thing with their junglers. They'll have Peanut start, and Peanut's really good. He might just take games on his own, and then they have like Blank and Coma. They just like sit back and watch the games. And Blank's just sitting with Coma, watching the games, and then like he goes in with a complete game plan. Like they have the full download on what the
Yeah.
enemy team's doing, and that's why Blank seems to dominate these games.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing with the
He's-
subs, where that the subs are allowed to. I mean, I guess you can't tell them not to, but they're allowed to fully see everything that's going on with that bird's eye view that the coaches get. So the subs go in with all of that extra knowledge that say
It is
Peanut,
fair, though, just
Huni
because
would
both sides
have.
can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I actually think that the whole only bring one sub, like the only region that realistically affects is Korea.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
no other
NA doesn't
teams are
really do it.
doing-
EU doesn't do it. I haven't followed the China scene enough to say, but I don't think they do either.
Like the only team that even looked like they were using subs correctly that's going to Worlds outside of it. Well, I guess EDG. I guess some of the Chinese teams do it, but they'll really only do it with one position. Like EDG does it with their AD carry. But C9 was the only team in like when's the last time Ray even saw play? So it's not even a big
He
totally
actually
utilized
apparently
sub.
just hit #1 Korea this week.
Did we really? Wow.
It's pretty good.
#1 China, sorry.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
They
he
saw a
apparently
lot of
just
play
hit it this
earlier
week.
in the season when Jarvan was really still.
Though, to be
dominating.
fair, I don't know which server that was on.
So who do you think for Group B then? Who do you guys got?
So I have Longzhu and Immortals getting out, and then Gigabyte Marines in third and Fnatic in last.
I have the same.
I just have Fnatic third and Gigabytes fourth, but Longzhu and Immortals.
But yeah, we
I
all
just have getting
agree
out.
Longzhu Immortals.
Now the question is, are we overhyping Immortals?
Very possibly. But we also have to remember that like Immortals is, post regular season struggles were with a completely different Immortals team. Right? Where you had Rainover and Huni there.
True,
Now
but
the
they
only
did
remaining
kind of
man
get
of that
dominated by
roster.
TSM.
Yeah. But the only remaining man on that roster is Pobelter.
So I got a question for you guys. You guys both like I have Fnatic at third, so I don't think I think they're a little overrated by people. But you guys both have them at fourth. Why do you guys think Fnatic is so bad?
I'll take this one first. I think they run their own specific playstyle, or they were at the time. Maybe they'll fix that by now, but I think it's exploitable, and especially during Rift Rivals, we saw that be exploited. You can shut down Reckless, you kind of shut down Fnatic.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Fnatic has looked shaky all season. They at Rift Rivals, like Mark said, they have one strategy. If you beat that strategy, you beat Fnatic. And yeah, that's basically it. Their performance recently has just not been up to par.
See, I think Fnatic. I think that at Rift Rivals was a wake up call, and they were playing really standard and poorly. But ever since Rift Rivals, they've been playing, or they were playing like their own weird standard, which was bad, like with their AD Kennen and Shen. And like even So is saying about how he hates Shen and it's terrible champion, and he refuses to play
Yeah,
against good
I'll
teams.
argue that with him all
But
day.
I think Fnatic, they're like, they have gone to more standard, but they're so passive in the early game, and like it really comes down to like Caps having to take over his mid. Like the only way that team has an early game is if Caps just takes over mid lane.
And do you think he can do it up against the competition he's up against?
I mean, it depends on which Caps. Like there was the Caps in groups that, like in the groups of the playing stage, where he was terrible, and then there was the Caps that happened in like the best of 5, and he was like like 1v5ing.
Yeah.
But I think Fnatic lives or dies, because like I think Soas will. I don't think Soas will ever get beat up. Like I think Soas can even go even.
I think
with
he's
Khan.
going to get destroyed by Longzhu at
No,
least.
I think
And
even against Khan, Soas will do fine. I just don't. But the big issue comes down to how hard will like Caps pop off and their jungle Broxa.
eh,
The
well,
next big
that
issue-
remains to be seen. I think they play week 1, don't they? Just a couple of days.
Doesn't
It
everyone
starts
play?
on.
Doesn't everyone play week 1?
Oh, I meant first. No, I thought they were against Longzhu. They're against Gigabyte. Unfortunately, Cloud9's up against SKT first game.
Oh,
That's gonna hurt.
dude, Jensen probably can't wait to clap Faker.
Oh God.
So I have a question for you guys. Longzhu won Worlds. Is Longzhu not won
Korea.
Worlds? They won LCK. Is Longzhu your favorite to win Worlds, or is it a different team?
No.
It's hard to overstate SKT's Worlds buff.
Yeah. Longzhu has had one split of insane performance, but they don't have the international experience for me to put them over SKT.
See, for me, I have to have Longzhu as the favorite. I think they have the best top laner in the world. I think they have the best
Agreed.
I think they have the best bot lane in the world.
Okay.
And then I think they have the second or third best mid lane in the world. And then their jungle, he is truly a rookie, but the stuff he was he didn't play poorly at all. He didn't play poorly at all in the final against SKT.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's another one of those. I need to see him against other kind of competition rather than just the insular meta of Korea itself.
See,
I want to see how they do on the world stage. That's like saying Immortals looks amazing in NA. What are they going to look like at Worlds?
one thing you have to remember is, though, being the best in NA is a lot different than being the best in Korea.
Oh, agreed.
I just think that every team should be trying to beat Longzhu, not SKT, just based off of like their strength in all their roles.
Calling it now. Immortals wins the first game versus Longzhu.
because it's a bot lane. It's a bot lane meta. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
I think it could be. It depends on if you're gonna
Yeah,
play a
it's
carry jungler or not.
I think Gorilla. I don't think he wants to play the Censor Champions. He will go straight for the Alistar Thresh, who's probably going to get those target banned against him a lot, Alistar Thresh, because he can like solo carry a game with those. And then you don't want to have to worry about Gorilla solo carrying a game when there's also Khan on the enemy team.
But it's so not a top lane carry focused meta that I feel like, Khan playing Jace, right, isn't going to get through the shielding sensor supports against, like, say, Kog'Maw.
But it was the same exact meta when Korea did their playoffs, and he still played the carries and did everything, and people were amazed at that one. I just think that Longzhu's got to be the team to beat.
Yeah, I also feel like them having such a spotlight performance against SKT hurts them in a way, because now everybody's probably preparing for Khan's Jace, right? Or preparing to play against top lane carries. They're going to have a strategy in place for that. And then if you ban the Thresh Alistar against Gorilla and you camp the hell out of top lane, now you have Gorilla on a champion that he doesn't want to be playing. You have Khan not ahead where he needs to be. You're putting everything in your prey basket, which I'm not saying Prey can't carry a game, because he absolutely can, but you're kneecapping the other sections of that team.
Well, also, I think Gorilla's best take over bully lanes. So everyone right now wants to play a lane where you can just all the non-best bot lanes want to play a lane where you just go super greedy and get Censor. They want Gold Pretend, they want Relic Shield, they want all this. But Gorilla's one of the few people that he will opt into the Thresh of the Alistar. And then the last one is Rakan. And all three of those force lane interaction. So you have to it's really rough. If you if you let him get one of those, he's gonna like be forcing lane interaction, which a lot of bot lanes, especially Fanatics, aren't gonna want. I don't think Immortals are
True.
gonna want it
Though
that
I
much
think
either.
Immortals wanted that. Immortals, that was a lot of what Ole was doing as well with the roaming Alistars
Yeah,
and Threshes.
But what Ole did is Ole didn't so much do it in lane; he did it like in everywhere else.
True.
I think Fnatic won't like it, and Gigabyte Marines, honestly, Gigabyte Marines might even have a good matchup with Fnatic, just as long as they don't get outskilled. But their like early game aggression might beat up Fnatic really hard if they play similar to how they played at MSI.
All right, so let's move on to Group C then. What do you guys got going on in here?
So I got Samsung, RNG, G2, Fibonacci.
I'm the exact same way.
And myself as well. Any particular reason for any of this?
I think the only point of contention is G2 and RNG.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think G2 is just too volatile to count on them to show up guaranteed.
Yeah.
See, I don't like to go off of like past Worlds performances, just because like even if it's the same team, it's still a different time.
I'm more just going off of this.
It's a different
this
meta.
past split.
And
past split, G2 was very volatile in their ups and downs.
Yeah, but they started getting it together for playoffs.
Yeah, and you do currently have a meta where Sven could carry the hell out of G2.
Yep.
Callista is in it.
And Perks has also been playing extremely well. I think some of the issues is this is definitely the mid lane group. So Perks is a very strong mid laner. Crown, I think, is the second best mid laner in the world.
Yeah.
And Xiaohu is the best non-Korean mid laner in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think I'd argue that. I'd want to see some more competition to say it's for sure, but yeah.
So this is
to be fair, I don't know much about Fibonacci.
Yeah, I honestly don't know too much about them either. Maybe if honestly, getting out of this group might be whoever loses to Fibonacci doesn't get out. There's a good chance that that's what happens. It's just like between RNG and G2. If one of those teams loses to Fibonacci, that might be the deciding factor. So if Fibonacci has a cheesy strat, it's gonna come down to like who they pull it out on. But overall, I just think that G2's big win condition I think G2 is just like a better form of Fnatic where their bot lane doesn't do too much early, but Mithy will play like the engagers and roam a bit. Even then, Mithy hasn't had the greatest split. Even in playoffs, it wasn't the greatest. Sven is just better than Reckless. Perks is better than Caps.
True, but I think the top lane could be a bit of a weakness.
Yeah.
What's the G2 top lane?
Expect, isn't it?
Expect, yeah, that's right.
You almost said Expecial.
Yeah, special.
No, I was thinking Expression, but he's a different Korean top lane. He actually retired recently. But
all right, so let's go to ye olde group of death, Group D.
Yeah, this is definitely the group of life, mainly because there's no Korean team in it.
No Korean, and technically speaking, the number 3 on China as well.
Yeah. So what's your order? Mine's Flash Wolves, TSM, WE game. Misfits.
I'm sorry. Did you just say you have Flash Wolves first?
Yes.
I TSM, WE, Flash Wolves, Misfits.
Really?
See, I actually have the same way.
I don't think Flash Wolves get out.
I have the same way as Malcolm. Honestly, I think Flash Wolves are the best team there. I think, and then TSM, WE. Honestly, I'm really not too sure. But
now, let me defend myself saying I started this before
WE.
play-ins.
Everyone's
so
been hyping up WE.
I didn't see WE play in a best of series at the time, so I might drop them down and put Flash Wolves second, but I'm still up in the air between the two.
I'm not gonna
lie. You're hard fast on TSM being the best in that group.
I think so, yes.
I'm not gonna lie, WE kind of throws me for a loop. Like, for all the analysts have been like a week after like China finished their finals. Everyone was hyping up WE as the best team in the world.
Yeah, because
Proskura
not even just Proskura. Everyone was hyping up WE as the best team in China, not world. I meant China. But they literally got 3rd seed. They lost to RNG, who lost to EDG, but yet somehow that makes WE the best team. I watched them play, and like I said this at MSI, their bot lane is amazing. Like Mystic is arguably like the second best AD carry in the world. Like just AD carry wise, not going bot lane wise. Mystic's a very strong AD carry. He is he reminds me almost of like a similar AD carry to like Deft or what's his name, Wei Zhao, or even Name back in his prime. So I'm excited to see how WE plays. but I think it's very bot
Just
lane
trying to get
focused.
this loaded. All right, so let me ask you this then: where is Flash Wolves' advantage over TSM?
Their jungle, because I have
Karsa, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, I can
Karsa.
agree with that.
Karsa.
But then at the same time, I'd say Bjergsen over Maple.
That's a close matchup for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think I would go Haunter over MMD.
But I think if you take the 2v2 between, well, that's obviously true, Haunter of MMD. But I think if you take the 2v2 into account, I think the 2v2 power, like, in general,
Yeah,
is
Karsa
more on.
MMD over.
Because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it also depends on what Svenskeren shows up, honestly. If it's,
That,
like,
Yeah.
Very true, but his main champion isn't in meta, unfortunately, at the moment. It's either carry junglers or big beefy tanks.
I kind of want to see Karsa play some Kane. I think he might.
I want to see
I could
Kane,
see
and I want
that.
to see some more Ezreal. I did like seeing Contracts pull that out.
Ezreal's so good. But, and then looking at bot lane, I would much rather I would honestly rather have Flash Wolves bot lane, just because AD carry after a certain point isn't too much different in the late game, because like you're gonna have all this stuff to keep you alive. But I'd much rather have Sword Art than Biofrost. Sword Art is
Biofrost showed up in the NA finals, though.
Yeah,
he
but-
carried TSM.
But Biofrost doesn't really play engagers that well, and I think you need to be able to threaten the Alistar Thresh at
He
that
played
high
Rakan. He played
I
Rakan
think
like 3 games.
If we end
and
up putting
destroyed
Sven on
with
all the
it.
big tanks, he's going to be playing the engaged champions like Sejuani and Gragas and doing that for him.
But Rakan, so
Yeah.
my issue with Rakan has been pick ban all worlds,
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
and so
And
I
yeah,
don't
you
think
might
can
be
rely.
nerfing Biofrost if Rakan's off the table.
And then obviously I know Biofrost loves Thresh, but for some reason TSM strays away from it, so maybe they don't play around Thresh correctly, or I don't know. What's
Yeah,
going
I'm
on
not
with that.
sure why. I think Thresh is a very strong pick right now. We'll get into that later, but for some reason,
Like I think Alistar
it's
is. I
not getting
think
picked enough.
in pro play, Alistar. Well, Rakan's the best support because but that's only because Alistar is extremely hard. I think a perfect Alistar, I'd rather have my team than like a perfect Rakan.
I think I'd rather the Rakan. The Alistar is just so much more telegraphed.
Yeah, but he's so tanky though. Like he doesn't. You have to worry about Rakan getting out. Alistar doesn't worry about that. He just like dives tower. Like he can force play so hard. Like he can
Oh, you don't
accelerate
have to
the
worry
game
about
by
that. But
ignoring
when I'm
towers.
playing Rakan, you just say go in and die.
No, but like in the like let's say you just take a tower. If he wants to threaten dives on mid lane, he can do that and just like not like it's almost like the tower doesn't exist to him.
That's true.
Yeah.
But so, do you think there's a Korean team that doesn't make it to semis?
Let's see.
No.
I think
all
I
of
got
the
them
Koreans
fir-
are making
I
it
got
through.
all first.
Yeah, so do I.
So do you think there's any team that a Korean team could lose to that's not a Korean team in a best of 5?
In a best of 5?
Yeah.
Oof. I think I'd have to see the groups first, just to see who's showing up at Worlds ready to play.
Yeah.
So right now, you if you were to say, do you think if I was to hold gun to your head, all Korean teams making it to semis?
The only one I'm close on is maybe RNG.
I mean, you do have the historical Flash Wolves against Korea, right? So, like,
Yeah,
if
but they're
Flash
not
Wolves
up
show
against
up at the
Korea.
tournament, then
I'm just
Possibly,
saying,
but-
gun to your head right now. Does a Korean team not make it to semis?
no.
No.
All of the Korean teams make it.
That's what
No.
I think too.
It just depends on if somebody's having a bad enough off day that RNG takes the series somehow.
I think the only
They're
way
the
a
only
Korean
ones I
team,
see.
I think the only way a Korean team doesn't make it to semis is if they
Wait, to
So-
semis or to playoffs?
to semis.
Okay.
So top 4.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
the only way a Korean team doesn't make it to semis is if somehow one of them chokes really hard in the group stage and then it ends up to a Korean team killing quarters.
So who's your fourth? Who's the fourth person in semis that isn't Korean?
Oh, that just comes down to random draw.
See,
Think
this is
so?
why I think I have TSM so high. I
It
want them
comes
to
down
make
to-
it out of groups
Whoever gets
and then
whoever
not
gets
go up
yeah.
against Korea.
Whoever gets first in Group D is going to make it to semis. In theory, like assuming all the Korean teams get first in their group,
Yep.
it's going to come down to the fourth person is going to be whoever gets first in Group D or whatever second seed pulls. Group
Yeah, so
D.
how does 2 teams get to go straight to semis, don't they, coming out of
No.
groups? or
Everyone goes to quarters.
Okay, everybody
And
goes to quarters.
the first they randomly
First seed
pull a
plays
first.
second.
Every first seed randomly pulls a second seed, and then
Okay.
So the only way you're going to get to semis is if you. The only way a non-Korean team gets to semis is the team either the first seed from Group D or the team that pulls the first seed from Group D.
So the only way I see a Korean team not getting to semis is if somehow there's an upset like RNG
Mhm.
beats out Samsung for
Yeah.
first seed.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And and then there's going to be a Korean team killing quarters.
Yeah.
And that's the only way it happens, in my opinion, realistically.
Well, let's hope we don't get EDG SKT on the same side of the bracket again and blow it early.
Alrighty, we ready to move on to patch? We have anything left on Worlds to talk about?
Who wins?
I say Longzhu.
I say SKT.
I lean SKT. 2-1, that means SKT
I would-
somehow gonna lose.
I'm gonna root for everybody but SKT.
Okay, let
But
me
if we're
rephrase
being
this. I don't think
realistic.
SKT wins. I think Koma wins.
I think I think Longzhu's going to this World the same way Rox went to Worlds last year. Because a lot people like to rewrite history, but in 2016, Rox was the favorite to win Worlds, and then they had a really good 5-game series against SKT. That was honestly like the best of 5 I've ever seen.
Was that last year's?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was semis.
Yeah, I didn't mean EDG.
Yeah, that was such a fun series to watch. Were you at the?
That should have been the final. Unfortunately, the brackets were shafted.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
the finals were still good. It was still 5 games.
It was, but it wasn't Rock's SKT,
No.
All right,
which is what we all want.
Yeah.
On
to the patch. So let's go over the small stuff first, and then we'll go over the larger kind of mini
All right.
reworks.
Obviously, we're a little behind, but we figured we'd get this out in case anybody didn't know some of the stuff and wanted an update.
Yeah. So we're going over patch 719 here. So we're gonna start with Aatrox.
Because he's the
Hell
he's
yeah.
probably one of the
Aatrox
smallest.
buffs.
So Aatrox is uninterruptible during his Q and gets more range on his R.
So not entirely on the Q. So there's 2 parts of the Q, right? Where you go up and then you do the dash to your location.
Okay.
He can still be interrupted on the up, but as soon as he's at like the top and going to the, taking the distance now, that's where he's
Think a
uninterrupted.
Galio ult.
Alright, character.
Yeah, exactly.
Character's still trash.
I love Aatrox.
So-
Very much so, but
so
I think
here-
he's better than where he was. Nobody
Yeah,
expects
I think
the
he's
ulti.
playable at this point.
No, here's why he's trash.
He's not good, but he's playable.
Here's why I think this character's trash. He's a lifesteal tank, right?
Mhm.
That's forced to auto attack to get his lifesteal. So he needs to nonstop be in auto attack range of someone. I guess the ult slightly helps him keep him in range of staying in auto attack. And since he has to auto attack and it comes every 3rd hit, he's like an attack speed auto attacker. And you know what item completely destroys that? Bramble Vest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
And it did get nerfed this patch, but it's still 100 gold for Grievous Wounds, and then you just out all in him.
So he goes from 150 range, and now with his ulti, he's up to 375. Still less than ADCs, but it is a decent amount of auto attack range.
Yeah,
on the
an
melee
extra
champ.
50 on that ult is a big deal.
Yeah, I just don't think it solves any. I just don't think any of these changes solve his problems.
No, they don't. I
Of
mean,
course not.
nothing's going to solve his problem until this week.
Like it might have solved this problem, but with Bramble Vest existing, nothing will fix his issue with Bramble Vest.
All
Yeah.
right, we'll skip over Caitlyn, hit her
Yeah.
on the big time. So next small change,
Malphite.
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 All right.
So Malphite, his passive armor is now tripled while his W is active, and his passive armor got nerfed a little bit to compensate for that. So Malphite tankier when he has his shield. There's not really much more to say on that one.
Yeah, I don't really like this Malphite change. This is Malphite's a character that's all about hidden strength. His E just slows attack speed. He gets the health shield, which I guess is not hidden, but it's sort of there, and then just the bonus getting bonus armor from his W. A lot of that just to me screams hidden strength that isn't obvious.
Yeah.
And then this strength even more, he's just gonna pop his W and walk up to in EU and auto attack you, and he's gonna get the Grasp of the Undying proc do more damage.
See,
It's gonna heal him.
I think this is being read wrong. What I'm seeing is Brutal Strike has a passive armor.
Yeah.
When he has his normal passive up, as in you haven't popped the shield yet, then his armor is tripled.
His passive, so the
Brutal Strike's passive armor is now tripled, while Granite Shield, which is his passive, is active.
So
Yeah.
he's
So
extra
if his
tanky
passive
to
is-
start a fight.
yeah.
Kind of like Sejuani, right? Where you're going to go in with a whole bunch of resistances, and then that will fall off after you're engaged.
But again, that's even more annoying to deal with because now, if he takes a trade that's auto attack E auto attack and one of those procs Grasp and then walks away, and you just barely break his shield because he's so tanky. That's a win because he doesn't take any health damage, and any health damage you do, he does.
Yeah, but this is lower at level 1 for the regular passive, and I don't think this is something you're...
It's still tripled though, because so.
But I think it's Isn't it? Or
So
is there a bonus on it currently?
Yeah. See, this is the bonus. It used to have 15 bonus.
Yeah.
Increases armor by 15%. Now it increases
Now
by
it's
10%. But when he has
but
his
it's
shield up,
shields
it's
up.
30%.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, I just think it's gonna make him more like he's not an interactive champion. All he does is he's an ult bot. All he does is press R and then press E on any attack speeder and then hope he does something after that.
Well, the other point they make for this is with all the new armor items, such as Thornmail being so much better and Righteous Glory and such, it's an overall buff to just his tankiness in general while the shield is up. But if you actually manage to proc that shield down, then he's no longer the tank he was before.
Yeah. What Riot does a lot is trying to create windows of power. This was did you guys watch the runes stream at all?
I watched
Unfortunately, not yet.
One of the things they talked about a lot in that was creating like windows of power for everything rather than consistent power, right? And this is just more of that same thing where it's creating this window, and Sejuani passive is the same way. We have this window of hyper tankiness, and then once that window's gone, you could be punished more harshly.
I just think that
So it makes his laning more annoying, though. You're definitely right about that.
I just think at high elo this doesn't affect him too much because people are gonna be able to play around it. But at lower elo especially, it's gonna be really painful for people to play around. And Malphite already beats up lower elo really hard.
Yeah.
Very true. All right.
Alright.
After that, we got
Orianna.
Orianna.
So-
Q attack speed moves quicker,
And then you can
and then
buffer.
W and R have to be buffered. They can no longer be cast during Q travel time.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she's getting buffed for no real reason.
Well, she did just recently get a whack.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
did.
she was still like one of the better.
I don't even know if this is really a buff. You can no longer W until your Q finishes. So if
Well,
you've
you can
already
still
Well,
casted
you can still buffer it. It's just it won't apply.
you can no longer
until...
use it mid walk to get the speed buff or the slowdown. It has to finish. So if somebody gets to the other side of the ball before it's finished traveling, you can no longer get that slow off.
I mean, that's fine. It's not really that big a deal. I just don't get why she's getting buff. Like, I feel like overall this is a buff. She went from being like one of the
I
5
agree.
best mid laners, and now she's getting a. It's like, oh man, she's only 5th best. Let's give her a buff. Let's get her up there to like 4th best or 3rd best. It just seems really weird to me.
I think it's more just a utility shift.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's a massive buff or nerf. I don't think it's really going to change how good she is.
I just think there's a lot of other champions that could use like a small buff like that, and why is like one of the best mid laners in the game getting a small buff?
Because everybody loves Orianna.
Yeah.
Apparently. I also like
All right.
Briefly Forever.
Speaking of champions everybody loves, Ornn.
Well, this is like the 3rd buff in a row to Ornn. They keep on buffing his like base stats. His Q, maybe people will start maxing Q now because it doesn't cost 1 billion mana at max rank.
Yeah.
The changes are more base mana, Q and E, mana cost less.
Yeah. So to me, the way that I see Ornn was just like they probably focused a lot on the passive and then not a lot on his actual abilities. So then he came out and he wasn't good, buffed him. So now he's okay, but now he's sucking up mana. Adjust his mana costs, maybe now he'll be where Riot wants him.
Again, they're going to do all these changes, then they're finally going to do the change everyone asked for where his W does percent max health instead of percent current health, and then he'll be busted. But if they just did the W does percent max health instead of percent current health at the start, we probably wouldn't be having all these like mini buffs.
I don't want Ornn's W.
They have said they do want to do slow
That's been on
tweaks nowadays.
That's been on like PvE like every single set, and then they go with other buffs.
I don't like that.
And it's on the PvE again.
That just makes it sound like another tank that can do too much damage to me.
Yep.
And it's just going to be obnoxious.
But
And then you're going to get into this annoying tank meta again, and then everything's going to have to get nerfed.
In my opinion, it would have been fine if they just gave it that, but kept them with like the mana gated and all this kind of stuff. But they want to do everything else, and then they're gonna finally fix the issue. Vayne.
Let's see.
No, Vayne's changed.
We'll go over Vayne here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, changes are Q. The auto attack after Q can no longer crit. To compensate for that, though, the AD ratio got buffed. The damage on W got nerfed.
Slightly, but it's the
well,
same.
actually, the percent health damage is the same at level 5, and it's 10 minimum damage off at level 5.
It's a nerf to the early game on W.
Yeah, and
Which
then,
I'm not that upset about.
And then the R got a new passive where if a champion dies within 3 seconds of being damaged by Vayne, final hour's duration is extended by 4 seconds, so you can keep getting those tumble stealths as well as the other buffs that the final hour gives you.
Yeah.
It's important to note you can't kill somebody immediately and get extra time more than you would already have gotten anyways on cast. So if it's a 5-second window, you can only get it back to 5 seconds. You can't suddenly have 19 seconds.
Oh yeah,
total.
you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like Highlander,
Correct.
the Master Yield.
Is that how that
do you feel
works?
about Vayne?
Yeah, with
She
Master-
seems to
with
be doing
Master
pretty
Yi,
well
It
at
just
the
adds 3
moment.
seconds to the cooldown. So if you get like a triple kill instantly, you'll get like 9 more seconds added to it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I learned something today, guys.
I think the Vayne changes are kind of silly because now she's just she doesn't get pretty much Vayne. If she wins her, the way Vayne is now is she loses her lane and then she loses the game because she's a useless character, or she magically wins lane because the opponents make a big mistake or she's just better than them, and then she snowballs out of control. And now this is like, all right, well, we're gonna hurt her early game, so it's even harder to win early. And then we're gonna buff, and then if she does snowball out of control, she's gonna snowball even harder out of control. It just seems like such
they're
a weird
making it
change.
very snowbally.
And
It
like
seems
that's,
to be working at the moment, just with the way bot lane goes. You can have that time to ride out the early game.
Yeah, that's
anyways. I mean, she's the second most picked support at the moment, according to
AD carry.
Champion GG, and she's got a 52% win rate anyways.
I mean, yeah.
That seems
I
high to
think
me
just
for
for,
a champion
just
like
for
Vayne.
that play rate, it should be a lower number.
Yeah.
I just don't like Vayne in general, honestly. If they removed Vayne from the
I
game,
agree.
I'd be okay with that. She's just like not fun if she's on the enemy team, and then if she's on your team, it's just not fun.
Even then, it's not fun because that's just you have a Vayne, do everything you can to make Vayne better game.
Yeah. All right, let's go into Vayne.
All right, yeah, we're gonna move on to Vigar. So some base stat buffs: attack range, base health regen, and health regen growth stat all got buffed. Then the bigger change is the cooldown on W is now 8 seconds at all ranks, so that's a buff because it went from 10 to 8. And now every 50 stacks of his passive lowers Dark Matter's cooldown by 10%. That's multiplicative, so you can't get like 500 stacks and then have it be 0 cooldown. But
No, but this is besides his normal any cooldown he builds.
this is
So he can
on
get
top of cooldown reduction.
This could get down to say 4, maybe even 3 seconds.
You can get it lower than that. I mean, depending on how well you stack and how long the game is.
Yeah.
So I think
It does mean that W's scary.
I like Orbital Strike Vigar. I mean, that sounds fun to me.
I think overall this is a really big buff to support Vhagar. So they gave him 25 extra range, and anyone who plays who plays like support will know that like range is one of the most important things a bot laner could have. Because
it's all about outranging the other support.
Because if you outrange the other support, then you crush them. If you can like tie in range with the AD carry, then that means you don't take like an extra auto attack as you're retreating. If you if they're in melee, then it's just like an extra little oomph. They can't walk forward. It's like extra range is so nice. Then even for mid lane, it's pretty good too, because that's just like a little bit more that you can't get zoned out of minions.
I mean, during our club custom games, I played tank Vigar top, and I had a freaking blast. It was awesome.
I have a friend who's gonna be loving this because he likes just like really silly stuff like that. So,
so
what was it?
Go ahead.
The other thing about this is if you get enough stacks, right? Like being able to drop 2 Ws if they're stuck in the cage means you can't really avoid it anymore, right? Most of the time, if you get 1 W down in the cage, depending on how he places it, sometimes you can get to the far other side of the cage and avoid that damage. Late game, this does a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So having that guaranteed chunk taken out of somebody like an AD carry or a mid laner who might be a little bit out of position is a big deal.
Yeah, but you need a lot of stacks though. I was looking at it. You need like a whole lot to be able to get to be able to shoot 2 down and have like the second one come out before the first one lands. You need a lot of CDR for that one.
Yeah, but like if you build CDR though,
no,
right?
like you need a lot of stacks for that one. Like you need to be like in like this like the 300s.
Yeah, but that's not
doable,
undoable.
But it's pretty hard to get that high though. Like I'll play mid Vhagar and I won't get like 300 until like really late.
Really? I don't think it's that bad. How many does he get per
minion? He gets 1, and he gets 2 for a cannon, and then it's 5 for a kill. So it takes a while to get up there.
Alrighty.
And then if you're playing them in the support you were mentioning, it's a little harder to get there.
Yeah, but to be fair, when you're playing him in the support role, all you really care about is that juicy E.
Yeah, kind of hard to argue with the Cage of Death.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to move on to item changes. So first up is Ardent Sensor.
All right.
This is the
This
big
is
one.
something near and dear to me because I abuse Ardent Censor really hard.
All right, let's read
I hate
it out
it.
here. Healing or shielding an allied champion now grants you Ardent Censor's buff instead of only your ally, so both you and your ally get it. But the Ardent Censor's buff no longer restores health. The attack speed goes from 20% to 35% rather than 25% at all ranks. And on-hit damage goes from 20 to 35 rather than 25 at all ranks.
Pretty much what they did is they undid the nerfs before, where it was 25 at all ranks, and made it scale up, and then they took away the on-hit healing. So,
all right, Evan,
rant.
rant.
First, the on-hit healing. A lot of people don't realize this, but Runon's Hurricane, each bolt would give you on-hit healing, so you would be healing. You'd heal 75 HP and auto attack if you had Runons. But that was like you didn't even like worry about that when you built it. So my issue with Ardent Censor is before it came to I didn't like bot lane in the sense of if you didn't play an Ardent Censor champion, or if you guys were both playing Ardent Censor champions, whoever built Ardent Censor first won lane. It didn't matter what your AD carry was. If you had like a Twitch and they had like a Lucian, it wouldn't matter because if the Twitch had Ardent Censor and Lucian didn't, Lucian lost. It wouldn't it could be a Draven without Ardent Censor versus a Twitch with Ardent Censor, and Twitch wins. It just gave you so much damage. Whoever finished it first wins. So they took away the healing, which I guess that's nice, but that's for a different reason. Now, instead of Twitch having Ardent Censor and winning the all-in, now your Twitch and say like your Janna each have Ardent Censor. So it's even worse in the sense of whoever gets Ardent Censor first just wins lane and takes tower because unless the jungle camps, because now you're laning against two Ardent Censors dealing on-hit damage with all this attack speed. So
this is true, but I think it's the loss of the healing.
The healing doesn't matter in
back
lane, though.
I think it does. It'll bring back the opportunity for poke supports to be able to do something about it.
No, because
without having to face that all in.
You just continually all in them. Like the only poke support that won't rush Ardent Censor is like Zyra, and even then you'll just walk at her and like just kill her because she can't do anything to stop you. You zone the AD carry out of CS because he can't walk up to auto attack or else he'll get all in. It's so brutal to deal with. Like it doesn't fix any of the issues with Censor.
But I feel like
no, it certainly doesn't fix any of the issues. I agree with that. It's still a rush as early as you can, and now it's even stronger.
And the only issue it fixes is AD carries. Their standard build will be triple crit, one Infinity Edge into double zeal items, and then they'll get armor pen. Now at least they get punished because they don't get healing. So there'll be 4 items without healing. But honestly, they still have Warlords, which I think is still the biggest issue with bot lane. Warlords just giving you all this free sustain.
Well,
and Dorn Shield and Warlords giving you all this free sustain.
And to be fair, depending on the runes, there could be even more sustain coming into the bot lane for free anyways.
Yeah, so I don't like this Censor change because it doesn't fix... So my biggest issue with Censor is I'm okay with it being overpowered in team fights. I think that's fine. But the fact that it's when you finish it in lane, the team that finishes it wins the lane phase is really, really silly to me.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that. If you rush a locket, then you have more tankiness. It does nothing in a poke lane. Well, this does something in every lane, so there's no counter to the item.
Yeah. And then, not every Ardent support can abuse it, so actually most of them can. The only one I think of that can't use it is Soraka, mainly because Soraka doesn't really want to walk up close and trade autos while she's healing.
Yeah. I'd say everybody else definitely can.
But Soraka doesn't care about the the healing loss because she was just going to be healing him up anyways. So she doesn't even care about the fact that she lost HP. So that's why I think it's like a.
Well, she was never getting it in the first place. So this is a bonus to supports.
Soraka was still building Censor.
Yeah, but she never got the buff for it. This is a bonus to supports because now supports get the buff, in which case they didn't before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Soraka doesn't make use of the fact that she gets the buff because she doesn't want to be really
she doesn't want to go up for that trade.
And in fact, she likes it just because... So if she doesn't care about the healing, she still gets more attack speed and on-hit damage.
Yeah.
So she's happy with that, even if she doesn't get the healing because she never...
So I think we're agreed. Ardent Censor still needs work.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about the new OP item, which is Bramble Vest?
The only thing keeping Aatrox down.
Again, sure. Let's go with that. So it costs an extra 100 gold, gives 15 less armor. Oh, it gives 15 less damage dealt back.
No, 5 less.
Oh, 5, right. I'm looking at it. It goes down to 15 damage reflected from 20. Still, if you're against odds are, if you're in a lane where you're going to build Bramble Vest, you're still going to build Bramble Vest, and it's not going to make a difference. I don't think this change really matters.
I feel like there's a big issue with items that apply Grievous Wounds, right? I don't think Movello has this issue, though. Because Movello only applies when I think it's below 20% health.
It's 35.
35.
I don't understand why they don't do that for Bramble Vest or Execution.
I like having that condition.
I do have an issue with Morellonomicon.
But that's entirely just because it's Morellonomicon and too strong.
Morellonomicon is the most purchased item by APs in the game.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they felt like they wanted to give the most purchased AP item in the game. They just wanted to give it Grievous Wounds, because why not? Like,
to be fair, I think it had Grievous Wounds from the start.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
But it also wasn't it used to be, there was a time when if you build it, it was either because you would build it over Athenes, it would compete with Athenes, and you would you would either build it because you were against an AD lane and you wanted to get the extra AP, or they had like a healing champion and you needed to build it.
True, but my point is more, it's evolved past that, but it always had it, so it's not like they threw it on at the end.
I think all of the healing reduction items should be, if you're buying that item, you're buying it for the healing reduction. I don't think you should be buying it just for all its other stats and have healing reduction as a bonus.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
especially now in the meta with all the heals and shields in bot lane. Before it wasn't as big a deal because there were very few champions taking advantage of consistent healing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still Mundo.
Mundo.
Yeah, like I said, there were a few. There's Vladimir, there's Swain, there's Mundo.
To be fair, Mundo would actually be taking over the game if he.
I've been seeing him taking over top lane, anyways.
Yeah, no, but he would.
And jungle.
There's a good chance he would be like a top tier champion if Grievous Wounds weren't so easily accessible.
It definitely needs to be there.
Yeah.
I think it's a little too accessible.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The fact that you can just buy an 800 or 1,000 gold item that just cuts your healing by, how much is it? 50%?
Yep.
It's
important to have a condition to it, which is why I don't like the Executioner's Call.
Yeah, I mean, it's an 800 gold counter to
attack.
champions like Mundo, to champions like Aatrox, Vladimir.
See, I'm less against being condition based, and I'm more in favor of you should have to alter your build from what you normally go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm in favor of.
I would even be a fan of, like, you have to buy the full Immortal Reminder and not just be able to sit on an Executioner's Calling, or you have to buy the full Thorn Mail.
No, see, I'm okay with the Executioner's because it's still 800 gold. You're going to set your next item back. It's going to sit in your inventory.
But it builds into another item that you're going to want anyway, right? As an AD carry, you're probably going to want that Last Whisper.
You're going to want the pen.
Yeah, but you're not going to want it to, like, 4th item anyways, though. So I'm okay with it in that sense. I'm not okay with Morellonomicon. Every single mage already buys this, and they just get Grievous Wounds for free.
I think that's why they have the strongest conditional to it. But also, there's no passive there until you almost kill him anyway.
The Grievous Wounds also last 4 seconds on it. I think it's 4. It might even be longer.
I think it's 4, but I think that's to counter the heal that champions get over time.
Oh, and then if you have Deathfire Touch, which a lot of the poke champions take, it lasts even longer because it's not until the last tick of Deathfire Touch ends.
True.
I just don't like Morellonomicon that
I
much.
think even Riot agrees Grievous Wounds and healing needs work. It's a work in progress.
Alright, so want to go to Thornmail?
Thornmail.
5 more armor.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
It's OP as hell.
Alright, 5 more armor. No one cares about it. Edge of Night.
Spell shield duration is up, now 7 seconds. Active cooldown is now only lasts 40 seconds. So
I still won't buy it.
Basic
probably.
reversion.
Yeah, it's still the worst of the three. It's still the 3 lethalities. Yeah. Usually, if I'm going a champion that's going a lot of lethality, the only one I can think of right now is Kayn. I'll get like jungle item in both lethality and the Dustblade, Ghostblade, and then after that, I'll look at like maybe.
If you read what they say, they want compared to the other defensive AD options, not so much just lethality.
I still think GA and Ma are both better.
Yeah,
agreed. Both are an active shield. This is a skill check, basically.
I'd much rather have GA, Ma, or even the what's the last one?
Yeah, especially where Edge of Night is in that same boat, right? They're all defensive AD items, and it's just I'd much rather have a Mercurial Scimitar.
Yeah,
or just the QSS even.
Yeah. To be fair, when everybody was building it, I hated it.
The only time I'd realistically build Edge of Night is if the only time I built it is I was playing Shadow Assassin Kayn and snowballing, and I just thought it'd be fun to get
to get the extra
84 lethality.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, I two-shot the Kindred.
You know how you counter that, though? Armor.
Yeah, but Kindred's not going to build armor.
Ninja Tabby.
No, but Righteous Glory gives a bunch.
I QW'd her from... I QW her from Out of Vision, and she died.
Don't you boo my segues.
I'm going to boo that segue. That was
Yeah, that was
awful.
terrible.
It's the best I had.
Righteous
Also-
Glory.
Righteous Glory doesn't give that much armor. It gives
Yeah.
like 30.
Total gold up 150. Combined cost up 150. It's just more expensive.
They just want it to be less of a perfect first buy or item
Yeah.
efficient.
Just hurting its efficiency a tiny bit.
I think
I like it on some
think-
some of the tank champions that I play.
I think the main abusers of this item were Cho'Gath was one of the biggest
Yeah.
abusers of this item.
Cho'Gath and Maokai.
Maokai
Yeah.
was too. Who else is? Some of the
And
junglers like Gragas.
Alistar,
maybe.
I've seen.
Yeah,
I've still seen the
Alistar.
occasional Alistar late game buy it though. So
Oh,
he
I've
doesn't
seen
care about
Alistar's
item
early game
efficiency.
buy it. If they this is when Alistar is picking up a lot of kills. So in the Worlds tournament, he was picking up a lot of kills. So he actually rushed Righteous Glory. To like force playmaking. Honestly, this item isn't seeing as much play as like it was earlier. But
I don't think
still
it's
in
an
the-
actual issue.
Yeah, the nerf seems kind of odd. Maybe they just really hate Cho'Gath, but I think
I'm starting to think so.
I think he has other issues that this nerf won't affect him.
Yeah,
Jungle's
Alright.
getting it. We're pretty annoying though.
that's
Alright.
true.
Zeke's. So total cost down 150. Same with the combined cost. Upfront damage is 25% of the basic attack damage. Total burn is still, in all capital letters, 50% of the basic attack. And Froststorm no longer ignites from a basic attack burning enemy. It now ignites when it slows a burning enemy.
And I think that's the more important change, as not everybody can get an auto attack off. Everybody can walk next to somebody pretty safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
All you
opinion.
have to do is sit on your AD carry, and anybody trying to get to them will get slowed, and it will be ignited.
My opinion is this item's still bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
hard to argue.
I don't
If-
play
it's
much
bet-
support,
if
but I
you're
never see
better,
it.
but
If
not
you're-
good.
If you're a range support, you still want Sensor, Redemption, Mikhails, all of those stuff. Locket.
Yeah.
If you're a tank support, you still want
Locket, Knight's Vow.
Locket, Knight's Vow. Maybe Zeke's is like a fourth item.
I
but
think it's
I'd rather
better
have
for
Righteous
tank
Glory.
supports anyways.
But Righteous Glory is still better than it. So like maybe you get it
I
as
think
like
it depends
a
on
fourth,
what you're
fifth-
using your tank support for. Braum, you're not really engaging with the Righteous Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And to be fair, Braum's the main one we're all thinking of for it, just because it's extra peel in the zone for your ADC.
Honestly, on Braum, I'd rather have the Ardent Sensor.
Yeah, we're not talking to you.
Because because you go the Stoneborn Pact.
True, but with runes changing, we don't know if Stormborn's still going to work the same way.
Well, but we're
Well,
not
yeah,
talking
but-
about
yeah, but
preseason.
I-
We're
I
talking about
don't-
now.
I don't even know what all the
True.
runes are yet, so I'm just talking
Yeah,
about right
I
now.
only know a couple of them.
Next episode.
I just think Zeke's Herald's still terrible.
All right. Do we want to touch on anything else here before we go to the big stuff?
The only other thing is they said they fixed spell shields.
they're
I'll believe it
probably
when I
still
see it.
broken.
Yeah, like they've been saying they fix spell shields like once every couple months for like I've been playing since season 2 and I've been seeing that fix for a long time.
All right. Now let's start with Azir then. So we're gonna go over the bigger stuff. So let me read through all this here. Base health has been buffed. Movement speed buffed. Also, I'm just gonna point this out. Why was Azir's base health 524.4?
A lot
Because they
of
like to be weird.
What the
Riot's
hell?
been going through a thing the past like
Aatrox
month-
used to have 0.75s.
they've been going for the past month and a half where they're trying to give everyone like flat amount. I mean I know that there's a famous one of Vel'Koz has 3.14.
Well, but that makes sense, right? That's like a
but
like a fun little game.
But what I'm saying is like a lot of champions have a lot of those like points whatever's carrying over.
Yeah, it's the same reason that Triforce, when you have the 3 components, costs 333 gold, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, base stats buffed.
Oh, no, that one used to be 1,337, wasn't it?
No, you're
That
thinking
was just a
Brutalizer.
spell. Was it? Oh, yeah, that was right.
There's
Brutalizer.
a time where Triforce cost 3 gold once you had all the components.
Oh, those were the days.
So on the Q, range down on soldier repositioning. So cast range is down from 875 to 720. The spear length is up 70. The cooldown is higher at rank 1, lower at rank 5. Same thing with the base damage on it is just buffed all the
flat
time,
buff.
but the ratio is lower.
Mhm.
W can no longer attack wards. The base damage has been buffed early game, nerfed late game.
Yeah.
And he now has another passive where if he has 3 soldiers on the team, he gets additional attack speed, 20 to 60 on ability level up.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, 60% attack speed is huge. And then the recharge time is lower at rank 1, same at rank 5. Stabs deal 40, 70, 100%
This, I think, is
damage
really
to
important.
secondary targets. Yeah,
So
so at
it's
level 11,
really
you're
hitting
doing
his wave
full
clear.
damage to everybody in that stab radius.
Well, that's what it used to do.
Yeah, so
But,
now this
so
is a
this
huge
is a
hit to
nerf.
his wave.
Yeah,
yeah,
this
it's
is
a hit to
So
his early
I
wave
have,
clear,
I have a
definitely.
friend who plays a lot of Azir into certain matchups, and this is the biggest change that he was worried about because So even though they buffed his damage, he was really afraid that this would kill his lane phase because he wouldn't be able to like farm correctly or like push waves correctly. But looking at his win rate, it looked like that it didn't affect him that much.
I've seen he's gone up.
Yeah, it has like a 50%.
He's sitting at 52% win rate at the moment.
Yeah, so this leads me to believe that. Oh, right, you can go over his E first.
Yeah, so we'll go over the rest of it. The shield AP ratio is now 0.7. I don't even know if it
has a
had an
ratio.
AP
It did
ratio.
He used to
before.
have a health ratio.
Yeah, so now it's to an AP ratio, which is nice. The
I think it's
duration
both.
is a lot lower, though. It's only 1.5 seconds from 4. And now he gets the shield upon casting his E,
Yep.
not upon hitting the champion. So
This
you
is
can
another
just...
big thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you can
and
just...
the
Every time
last
you
one.
E, you'll have a shield.
The last one.
Oh, and if Azir hits a enemy champion, he immediately gains a W charge, which is kind of cool.
Ooh.
So here's the
That's
thing.
nice.
So I'm not sure if Riot's trying to say this was a nerf, but the shield duration going down to 1.5 seconds doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because if you were gaining a shield, you were probably taking the damage immediately anyways.
Yeah.
So this is the big thing why I think his win rate's going up. His he as a champion just became way easier to use.
True.
Like everything about him is easier. He's closer range. You don't need to stay as far back. It's not as positioning based. And he has higher bases, so he can do stuff. So you don't need to like farm for like 3-4 items to do something. You can do stuff like immediately. So these changes are definitely a big buff. Or these changes definitely hit his early game and buffed it, and then made it easier to play, which is why it's reflecting his actually
True.
scarily high win rate.
And then
Little
the
bit.
last thing on the patch was the wall size got a little bit bigger.
Yeah, one soldier.
And yeah, 1 soldier at each rank, and the cooldown is a little bit lower. The other thing on that is once you've cast the wall, with the wall just standing there, you can now dash through it. So it will still interrupt dash on its travel, but it no longer will like knock you back if you try to dash through it.
Which I do think is a nerf.
Big thing for Azir.
Yeah,
So the wall
definitely.
is bigger.
Big thing for Azir though is I think most people have gone back to going Relinomicon like they used to do a while ago. It seems like I've been seeing that.
I don't think so. I think he's still Nashor's Toothbrush.
No, I think from what I've been seeing is most people are like have been switching to Relinomicon. Like a lot of people still go.
GG actually has Roa first buy for best
Roa?
build.
Ooh, I do not like. So that's more.
The most
that's more
frequent
going
build
along-
is Nashor's first, and that has a 38% win
Yeah,
rate,
see,
so I
that's
don't
my
think
point.
we're counting that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna check LoL Analytics.
A lot. I think people might be testing Roa, but from what I've been seeing, is Relinomicon still is like one of the better ones to go.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of his cooldowns get worked around, so you don't need to have as much CDR as before. Partly because
Well, also,
you
so,
can get a free
so
soldier.
Azir's W is giving him free attack speed. Is your Analytics still bugged?
Apparently.
No, yeah, it's giving us free attack speed, but I'm talking about CDR.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is you want CDR.
Yeah, for me, LoL Analytics says that popular items are pink wards, or control wards.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I don't
haven't
know what
updated for
the-
the patch yet.
I mean, it was working for me when I was looking at it.
Oh, you know
In
what?
HG.
It might be because I'm using ad block. Let me turn it off and see if that fixes
Oh yeah,
it.
it literally says it's doing that on purpose.
Bruh.
You have to
That's-
refresh. You have to refresh
Yeah,
once you
hold
turn
on.
it
I'm
off.
gonna just, I'm gonna...
I think apparently there's a lot of
whitelisted.
volatility with him at the moment. A lot of open choices seem to be doing decently well
Okay,
for
let's
how
see.
much he's doing.
So yeah, you're actually right. Nashor's Tooth is still most common, but a lot of people are getting that Relinomicon
Yeah,
first.
I think people are going Nashers, but I have a theory that people in solo queue are idiots. So
Shocking.
Yeah, what a shocking
I
revelation.
know. So here's
That's
the
odds.
thing. Every time someone,
Yeah.
every time, so I see Morganas, right? And if you watch pro play, they all go. They don't even put a point in W. They go Q and E, and they go Stoneborn Pact, and they get Sensor first, and you get the healing off Stoneborn Pact proc Sensor.
to be fair, I have seen as well wind speakers.
Yeah, but that's bad. I mean, I've seen the
I
only.
think Afro's done it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Why isn't Afro at Worlds then? Anyways.
Shit.
Because he played. Well, to be fair, he was actually the problem, but
Yeah,
that's another story.
Anyways. So you all these Morganas in pro play, they don't even put a point in W. And then I see like these Morganas in like solo queue that are all like Thunderlords is like the most is like by far the most common keystone taken, and they put points in W, and it's like, all right, well, you're just bad. And it's just whatever. It's like, okay.
Well, I think that's partly because solo queue, you're so used to having to play the lane aggressively.
No, I think it's more people don't realize that stuff's changing.
That's true.
So like they'll
nobody
see,
reads patch
so
notes.
they'll
That's
see,
why
no,
we're
no.
doing this in the first
So
place.
I think it's they see a Morgana in pro playing, like, oh, Morgana must be good again, so they pick Morgana without realizing why she's good. And same thing with this. People are seeing like the Azir got buffed, so they're building stuff on it without realizing why they're building it. Or like why they built the item in the first place.
I just like
this one patch gave him a 9% increase in his win rate.
Yeah, so his win rate on this patch right now is 51.78%.
So apparently he's no longer great late game. He actually gets worse the later the game
well,
goes.
they did nerf his late game, but I think that's more.
Sure.
I think that's more people don't know how to position with him late game.
Yeah, I would say they actually, but I think they buffed his late game just because having that 3 soldier out, that's 60% attack speed is huge.
But they hurt his range and his scaling.
Yeah,
The range one's the biggest nerf to his late game.
Yes, because all it takes is one auto attack from the Fed AC and you're dead.
All right, let's stop talking about Azir.
All right, how about we talk about Xin Zhao?
Let's not read through everything. Let's just go over basically what they've changed. So he gets more attack speed less attack speed per level.
No, more per level starts with less.
Yeah, starts with less, gets way more per level actually.
Which is a nerf because of any attack speed item works off your base attack speed.
Yeah, so that he won't scale as well with it.
So Xin Zhao, they moved pretty much his W minus the passive of the W, where every third hit would do extra damage and every third hit would heal. They put that on his passive.
Hey, that sounds like Aatrox.
Yeah. His Q is pretty much the same exact thing, except a lower base damage, but a higher AD.
The difference though is the Q is now only off bonus attack damage.
Wow, that's a giant nerf to Q. Q's actually got destroyed.
Yeah, they took
especially
40
you're
damage
be
off it
building...
and put it on bonus. I think they don't want you maxing it first.
Yeah. I mean,
from what I've seen
we'll
is
come
everyone
back to that. Let's read through the changes. So I got a note on that.
The W is similar to the Rengar W.
Yeah. So it's like you do the crescent slash and then you stab forward, but you don't move.
Yeah, the Rengar Q, not W.
Xin Zhao can now break out of CC.
And it's got a slow on it. Oh.
And then the cast time of it is based on his attack speed. So I mean, I guess that's interesting. It helps his jungle a bit because now he has more than just his E for AOE.
Yeah, the slow is going to help.
I'm wondering if that's more just the faster you are, the less of a lockout there is on doing anything else after the animation.
Yes, well, it's the cast time itself, so like it comes out fast. Like the animation goes by faster.
Okay.
The E is basically the same. Actually, it gives him attack speed after using it, which is
the base damage went way down too.
Yeah.
Wow, 80 damage off of it. That's a lot.
And so his attacks, the slow went down too a lot.
But they moved the slow. They moved the slow under his W.
Yeah.
Oh, on his W, yeah.
And then his E is the attack speed from where his W used to be.
Yeah, and you have to remember that they probably moved around his damage because they're accounting for the fact that the W now does damage. Like the old one had the crit on the third hit, right?
W?
Yeah. But now it's just...
they put that on his passive, and it's not a crit anymore.
Yeah, but now the W can strike twice as well, so...
Yeah, and then Xin Zhao's R is a big one.
His R is cool.
So it used to give him resistances based off of each person hit. They got rid of that, because that was like hidden
Thankfully.
power. And then for 3 seconds after he ults, he gets like this little circle. It's like a little circle indicator around him, similar to what happens when Zeke's, but you guys probably don't know what Zeke's is, because you've probably never seen it in your games. But he gets like this little circle around him, and anyone that like hits him from outside of that circle, he just doesn't take damage.
Yeah.
So, which does sound incredibly strong, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know if this was on there before this rework or not, but if you auto attack and then ult, So like if you just ult a champion, they'll get knocked back. But if you attack them first, or if you have the E on there or something,
Yeah.
it won't knock them
Yeah.
back. I'm not sure if that was there before.
No, that's still there.
Okay.
And then you can also juke it out. Like if you attack a minion, then you'll push back all of the champions around you because like your target will be on a minion.
Yeah.
The
So
other important thing is duration is extended by attacking champions, so it can last longer.
so that
than 3
invulnerability
seconds.
to things outside of that circle is
It just doesn't
I wonder
say
how
how
long
long.
that lasts.
Yeah, it doesn't say, which is kind
Yeah,
of
look it up.
odd.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So I had something to say about the Q, but I forget what it was. Oh, that move from total attack damage to bonus attack damage is like it hurts him even more when you think of the fact that a lot of the times your first 2 items, like you're probably jungling.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you're
it
going
can
Blood
keep
Razor.
going up
So
by
you're not
0.3
getting.
seconds per attack, but
Uh-huh.
it cannot exceed 3 seconds total. So
Okay.
you
Oh,
can keep
okay.
going if you keep auto attacking.
Okay. So yeah, you're not getting AD in your early game because you're building the Blood Razor.
Mhm.
After that, there's a good chance you're probably going to end up going something like Bork.
Yeah,
Right? So now you're only getting, what, 25 AD on that? Your actual AD built is really low, so the amount of damage that's going to be coming out of that Q is really low. It's all going to be forced into your auto attacks.
Yeah, I think top lanes in Zhao has the same issues as before, and it gets countered by
Bramblevest.
By Bramblevest.
Everybody on top.
So I think he's. I don't think it'll be able to be viable top lane. Q's been playing him AD carry, but he's just trolling on like his Masters account that he doesn't care about, if that account's even Masters. And then in the jungle, he seems okay in the jungle, but maybe there's some kind of weird build. But overall, he still seems like he has the same exact weaknesses that he's always had.
His jungle win rate is 51.2% for this patch.
Yeah, I mean, he always had a fairly high jungle win rate. It just seems like to me, he has the same weaknesses that he always has. Maybe like he still gets kited hard.
True, but I think getting in is a little safer for him now. If he doesn't actually manage to get onto that carry, he can just kill the tank and stay far enough away from the AD carry.
His ulti is the one thing that scares me about his ulti is it reminds me a lot of Poppy ulti. Old Poppy
Yeah.
ulti.
Yeah, kinda.
Which I mean that ulti's
But if you walk into that circle, then you
yeah,
can damage.
it's definitely
them,
more
so.
healthy.
Yeah, but then you're within range of him, so it's a
Well,
little
no,
bit
that
of a, you
circle.
gotta-
The circle is longer than his auto attack range.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger.
True, but he's got the dash.
Yeah,
Over-
but also there's probably a good chance that he ended up using that to engage and then use the ultimate.
honestly, I think the
So-
only way Xin Zhao ever becomes truly good is if he's able to go top lane and build like Triforce. But
We could dream.
I don't think that he can realistically go top lane right now. Like his
Yeah.
base damages are so low.
All right, last thing here is Caitlyn.
there's
we
two
got
more,
2
there's two
left.
more.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. But so second to last thing, Caitlyn. I hate these changes, frankly.
So
I like him.
Well, Caitlyn's a champion that is. You will never have fun playing against a Caitlyn.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, a lot of the base health stats nerfs that came through just got reverted.
Mm-hmm.
So they buffed, I think, all of the base stats here. So base health, health growth, base attack speed. What is that?
Innate bonus.
Oh,
attack
innate
speed?
bonus attack.
Wait, what's
speed.
Not
that?
quite sure what
Yeah,
that does.
I'm not sure what that is either, but that got nerfed by 5%.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Maybe level 1.
Yeah, maybe
before
it's like
the-
level
before
1
it's growing.
bonus on the base or something like that. I
have
don't
no
know.
clue.
Attack speed at level 1 is unchanged. Okay, so yeah, so
That's pretty
between
big.
base attack speed and innate bonus attack speed, level 1 attack speed doesn't change, but now she scales better with attack
Okay.
speed items.
Yeah. Oh, and she also has the attack.
Yeah, and her attack speed growth got
doubled.
buffed.
It got doubled.
Got doubled.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So that fixes a lot of her late game a lot of her issues in general. Because
Yeah,
before she wouldn't
yes.
do a lot until she finished like her triple crit, but now she can probably start doing work at 2 crit items or at crit and zeal.
Yeah. So passive headshot can now proc on turrets.
Which,
I think this is both a positive and a negative.
Yeah, we were talking a little
Positive,
bit
you
about
take
this
turrets
earlier.
quicker. Negatives, unfortunately, you can't save that to
you can't-
dissuade people from trying to protect the turret.
Yeah. So
Q, more pass through damage.
Better wave clear.
Yeah, better wave clear. Trap
and then here's
cooldown.
this is the big one.
Yeah, so the traps, let's see. The duration is down significantly from 90 seconds to 30 to 50.
I didn't realize they lasted that long in the first place.
Yeah,
and
they
this
lasted a
still
long
seems
time.
too long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it
almost
should
a
be
minute.
30 at all ranks.
And then bonus headshot damage is just way stronger, like in
It's
every sense
stronger,
of the word.
But it has bonus
it's
AD.
now
It's now
bonus
bonus AD
AD.
instead of total AD.
Oh,
And she
okay.
doesn't build that much. She only gets the IE generally, and
Yeah,
then
and then
and
it
maybe
lasts
also
late
the
game.
bonus
maybe.
the bonus AD scales with level. Whereas
Okay, so
before it used to be
headshots will
flat.
probably
does.
chunk a
So-
little bit less.
So W is actually way worse than what it used to be,
Yeah.
unless
Yes,
you max
I'm
it.
okay with that. The W was obviously the biggest problem with the champion.
I'm curious
Yes.
if people will max W over Q
I
now
think
that
some
Q...
people already were.
Yeah, but those people are doing it wrong.
Yeah, I would
Um,
definitely be maxing Q, especially because
well-
it's a buff to your wave clear.
Well, so to me, the buff to the wave clear means you could get away with maxing W because it has more wave clear, but W just seems like it's so juicy at higher ranks, but
Yeah.
right now it's really bad.
But it also
yeah,
like
but it's also since it's bonus, it's scaling with your level at the same time. And I don't know, getting that first at level 9, you're gonna have much bonus attack speed to work, bonus attack damage to work off of.
Well, I think you'll have more than you normally would because then you. So you're gonna go Infinity Edge first on Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And so by going, it's by level 9, it's not like you're gonna be having any attack speed in your build, so it's not like it matters.
True.
Whereas by the time you're 2 items, by the time you have your second ability maxed, you're probably only going to be having attack speed. Aside from
But
the
this is
Infinity Edge.
only relying on them stepping on your trap, which is usually a misplay. So
Although
you're
that
putting a
happen-
lot of your damage
But
into a
that
misplay.
happens a lot when you have them
Yeah.
pushed under tower.
When you have 5 turrets traps up and they last the whole time. To be fair, now they're at 50 seconds.
Yeah,
but I
that's
think
Still,
that's too
it's still
long.
pretty brutal.
And the charge rate as well got nerfed early game, buffed early game. It only takes 30 seconds per trap.
Either way, Caitlyn's definitely back in meta. She's
definitely.
I think
she's
so. Yeah.
absurd.
One thing I'm seeing about this W, 240 base damage on that W, right on that headshot proc.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's 50
Especially
more
now
than
that it can proc on towers. Like the first tower percentage
this
on a
will not-
Caitlyn.
This will not happen on towers. It's only if they hit the
on
trap.
that's only on the trap.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because
My
every
bad.
auto tech is a
My
bonus.
bad.
headshot.
Okay. Yep, I was misreading
Either
it.
way, Caitlyn's
At the
still-
moment, Caitlyn is 49% win rate.
And also,
Good.
I can only imagine Caitlyn. I can't imagine Caitlyn doesn't like the Iron Sensor on everyone
Yeah.
to give her more
True.
attack speed.
I just hate Caitlyn.
Now, the biggest change in the game,
To the
Of-
two
of this
supports in the
patch.
cast.
the biggest change in the cast is, in my opinion, to
I'll
Janna.
come back later. You guys can have fun.
Alright, so these were changes I was a little skeptical about. Like when I first saw it, it seemed like a gigantic buff
I still
to
think
like
it was.
any. Yeah, it definitely is. But and I thought it was a terrible idea because she's just getting buffed to hell. But after looking at it again, I would much rather have a Janna that's strong that has to like interact than a Janna that's like fairly good that can just AFK.
It's that Windows of Power thing. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
strong, but she's risky.
Yeah, well, that's not even
Risky
Windows of
or-
Power. She's just she gets she can now benefit from her passive, so she gets 8% move. So she just permanently gets 8% bonus move
Well,
speed.
I think we're skipping first one of the big things. Her attack range.
Oh,
gets
yeah, her
boosted
attack
to
range-
550,
yeah,
Yeah,
So
which is as much as half the
75.
ADCs.
yeah, so you have to think of to give context to that attack range. Corki has 550. Varus has 575. Caitlyn has 650. Ashe has 600. Lucian has 500. Sivir has 500.
I thought Silver was
So-
525.
Nope, she's 500. Twitch is, I think, 500, or is he 525? I think Twitch is 500 also.
Twitch is probably fine.
Here, to put it in perspective, somebody you will see often in the bot lane, Callista, 550.
Yeah, Callista's
Got the
550.
same attack range as the number 1 ADC at the moment, so that is a duo from hell.
Yep.
So what you're telling me is it's time for AD carry Janna.
Sort of.
I used to play that, so don't knock it.
So,
But no.
Alright,
Actually, she does get the buffs now.
Oh yeah, Ardent Sensor ADC Janna, dude.
God no.
So,
So,
new passive, she benefits from the 8% of her passive to herself as well as not just teammates.
her attack damage does this is where we
Also
have to
her
go to the
W.
hot fix. So
Janna's basic attacks and single targets deal bonus damage
yeah, and that bonus
based on her move speed.
damage is
Oh, that's right. They hot fixed her twice already within 3 days.
Yeah, it's 15, 25, 35. So it starts at 15, then at ranks 1, 7, and 13, it goes up by 10.
Which I'm okay with.
And then they lowered her what's her base mana on the buff?
The base mana on the buff.
Oh, she didn't
I
get
don't
base
think
mana.
they. Yeah, they
Yeah,
didn't
so they
hit
just
base
moved
mana.
their base
Okay,
mana.
so her base health, it says 525, but it's actually 500, and then her base mana got taken away 50.
It's probably because she's not casting shield as much, so she has a lot.
Yeah, they took away about 60 base mana. They lowered her base move speed by 5%. And,
But she now gets the 8% from her passive.
yeah. But they lowered her base
Or-
move speed by 5.
Oh, the hotfix. Yeah, the hotfix hit her
Yeah.
base speed. She's now down to 325, which means boots and other bonuses are
No, she's down to
giving
320.
less. 320?
Hotfix.
They hit her again?
So she actually has the lowest base move speed in the game. No one else has less than 325.
Well, she's getting her passive, but yeah, that is actually a bigger nerf than it seems because it's hitting anything else
Yeah,
that's giving her move speed.
base nerfs are always pretty intense.
And then, so
Her
scrolling back
Q.
down to her. Okay, so her Q became more of a 1-point wonder because you max it last anyways.
Yes.
So it costs less mana at rank 1. And it has a lower cooldown at rank 1. So,
It is also a buff to rain.
Yeah, and they buffed the
Yeah.
range on it as well.
and then the big thing is, it always reaches its max range. It always reaches the endpoint in 1.5 seconds. So the longer you charge it, the faster it travels. And so, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Which first couple of times will probably
Yeah,
throw
so
everything
Yeah,
out.
but you'll
it's-
get used to that.
it's
It
it
always
feels
takes
very
1.5
weird.
seconds,
Yeah.
regardless of its distance.
Yeah. But it can but since the distance extends the longer you charge it, it can
Yeah,
go,
it
it
goes
goes really
faster.
fast. Her Zephyr, the mana cost went up on it. That was one of the hot fixes. The slow doesn't last as long. The cooldown went down, and the
Cooldown
range
went down 4 seconds base.
and the range is about the same because they measure it between hitbox edges instead of
Centers. So it's
yeah.
buff to trying to get it on a
On
tank,
tank,
nerf
yeah.
to trying to get it on a Tristana.
yeah. And then the real only nerf to her this pet on the actual rework was
Well,
her
they also
shield.
nerfed the movement speed on W as well. It no longer gives you 17%.
Yeah.
It's down to only 10.
Yeah.
Did we go over the basic attacks thing?
yeah.
Did we
yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about that? Okay.
Yeah. So the real only nerf to her, so she got all these buffs, and the only real nerf is her shield starts at 18 seconds and scales down to 10 instead of being at 10 at all ranks.
So what are you maxing now? Are you maxing
you max
E
it.
first?
Yeah,
maxing
you still
E.
max E first. It's
E
still
first,
it's still
W.
her only ability that realistically matters on her.
Yeah, so EWQ.
What's changed is now E is no longer spammable in lane, but to counter that, her Ws and auto attacks now do more damage anyways to
Yeah.
counteract it.
Yeah.
So she's stronger late, about even early, I think.
Yeah, and like Evan was saying earlier, you can't just AFK spam E.
Yeah. So
Which I'm okay with.
so
Yeah,
I'm,
I think most people.
so I'm
are.
okay with her being stronger than what she. I'm okay with Janna being played optimally is stronger than her being played terribly before or optimally
Though we should
before.
point out she is a little bust. Oh no, she's down to 55% now. That's not as
only
bad.
55%.
Yeah, that's still
54 and
pretty
some
high.
change.
All right. And
To
then,
be fair, Sona's at 54 as well, so
I think
that's more art.
Yeah, I think that's it.
everything. For this
Are there
patch.
any particular bug fixes that are funny? This is something I always like to look at in patch notes.
I didn't see anything
I
that
didn't
jumped
see
out
anything.
at me.
Oh, the Tom Kench Devourer, where oh, did they fix the Tom Kench where he could eat something and it would disable W forever?
They fixed the Aurelian Soul bug that they had to remake a game over in the
Okay.
NA finals.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that really jumps out.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. Okay, so move on to solo queue.
So, what have you guys been playing in solo queue?
Malzahar.
Uh, if we want to play this, I am a Shen support main, but we won't talk about that because Evan likes to yell at me.
All right. So, what kind of stuff have you been playing recently?
I've played. I think Thresh is coming back into the meta. I think he is
Yes.
very strong once again. And then I still like the damage supports just because it's all in. There's no sustain in bot lane anymore early game.
Well, Thresh is already back in the meta. So you've been playing a lot of Thresh recently.
Thresh, and I've gone back to some of the damage supports.
What have your builds on Thresh been?
Unfortunately, Thresh is kind of in the mid zone. He doesn't get all the bonus from Knight's Vow, but it's still a Knight's Vow rush. And coin is still busted. They did nothing to that, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So it's a coin into Knight's Vow.
Do you always go coin, or do you only go coin if they're a passive laner?
I tend to go coin almost entirely.
Yeah, I found
It's
like
hard to
if
give
I
up the
get
gold.
yeah, if I get stuck on support, which I don't play it very often, but when I do, I end up going like on any champion that I can almost justify it. I do it.
If
Like
you're
I do it on Leona.
See, if I'm playing Thresh and I'm against like an Alistar or a Rakan or something, I'll go Relic Shield just so I can have a better all-in.
I just know that I'm not gonna keep up with those relic shield stacks the later the game goes on. So
Yeah.
just passively getting the extra gold from coin just makes more sense.
So
to me.
I have a different mindset on support. When I play support, I think like my time to be, I want to be as useful as I can from like in lane phase especially, but from like 0 to like 20 minutes, I want to be as useful as I can. So if I'm not getting any gold past like 20 minutes, it doesn't really affect me that much.
Yeah.
I'm more interested, like if I'm playing Thresh especially, where I don't scale it, I don't like scale late the same way as like Thresh could have 0 items and just have like all 3 abilities, and he would still be pretty useful late game. Whereas like Janna, for example, kind of needs money to like keep her shield strong and stuff like that. So Thresh realistically doesn't even, like Alistar also doesn't need money. They could just have no items and just like have flash up and go in and start and be pretty much similar usefulness.
Yeah.
So that's why I prefer like to be strong in lane phase and go like Relic Shield if they have a chance at fighting back. What about you, Malcolm? You said you were playing Malzahar?
Yeah, so I've been playing Malzahar mainly just because I've just been trying to climb as fast as possible. I don't play a lot of ranked. We looked earlier. I think I have 75 games total for the season, and the reason I've been playing Malzahar is I found that into things like LeBlanc or Zed, you know, snowbally mid laners, it's just they just can't do anything. What you do is you get your lost chapter. That's the first thing I get. I take TP when I hit my 900 gold. I push out, blow all my mana to push that lane, go back, buy the lost chapter, and then you can just EW basically every wave, and it will, you know, it'll CS for itself. You'll last hit without having to do anything. But it keeps them from being able to roam because you're constantly pushing into that tower. And then if they try to attack you, you just, you know, press R.
Yeah.
So
what secondary summon are you taking? Because obviously you're taking Flash. Are you going for like Ignite, Ghost, or like TP? Those are the three,
depends on the matchup. It's either Exhaust, Ghost, or TP.
No Ignite ever?
No, I don't generally go for.
I mean, I agree. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't generally go for
I
early
don't
kills on
think I've
Malzahar.
taken any mid lately, honestly. It's just it does nothing into the tanks anymore.
Yeah,
and then so
like I said, when I'm playing Malzahar, it's all about shutting down the other laner, not making me a carry.
And then you're going Morellonomicon first, right?
Yeah. Morellonomicon, and then Rylai's and Leandry's is what I've been doing.
One of the things I like to do on Malzahar, or I like to see, I actually don't like playing Malzahar. I actually hate that champion. Like, I'm just really bad at him.
I hate playing.
So, but what I like to see Malzahars do is I like to see him push the wave in and then just walk bot lane or something.
Yeah, that's what I try to do once I have the lost chapter. I can do that because doing that before having your lost chapter, you'll run yourself out of mana.
Yeah.
But once you get that mana sustain, then you can it opens you up to roam as well as stopping them from roaming.
Yeah, that's how I like Ghost a lot on him because it helps your roams. Like you just walk bot lane and
I've been taking
Ghost.
Storm Raiders sometimes. If I don't take Ghost, I'll take Storm Raiders.
See, I just like Deathfire. Deathfire just gives him so much damage.
The other thing, if I'm not playing Malzahar though, if I'm in a lane that I'm more confident that I can just win, I'll be playing Syndra.
Yeah, Syndra's
pretty... just because of the snowball
Syndra's
factor of cool. That.
So yeah. I've been playing personally a lot of Kayn.
In the jungle, or are you doing Assassin in the mid?
In the jungle.
Okay.
But so first I start off going Rost because I agree Rost is the best one.
Yeah, kind of hard to just give up the CC and sustain.
But the other one I've been spamming a lot is I've been spamming Shadow. After playing Rost, I decided to switch to Shadow Assassin, and Shadow Assassin is so fun. Like honestly, Shadow Assassin Kayn might be the most fun character I've had in years playing.
Really?
Like I've been playing since season 2. Shadow Assassin Kayn is so fun. So literally anywhere on the map you can go. You can just because you have 2 ways to get over walls. One of them's a heal. You have a slow to stop people from chasing you or to chase people. You have an ulti that puts you on top of them. There's literally, you can go anywhere you want. I always like to go blue smite, especially on Shadow Assassin, because if you smite them, your ulti range is actually longer than your smite range. So to ult someone, you need to actually do damage to them. So you just smite them, and then you can just ult them, and you just have so many options, and just like the ability to one shot people. So I was fooling around on like with friends in normals, and I got really fed. But I had 87% armor pen with full armor pen runes and all 3 armor pen items. And you can just do some crazy stuff. Like I killed a kindred with QW.
Feels bad, man.
That's
awful.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Kane has some crazy gank. Like Kane is similar. Like reminds me of Lee Sin, where you can gank. Any gank path is open to you.
Yeah.
Because you can Q over walls, you can E through them, you can do what. Like you just have to. You can be so like my first couple games on Kane, I wasn't getting good ganks off, but you can be so creative with your ganks. Like he's so fun. And then the other thing I've been playing is I've been playing a lot of Sona support, and then I've been playing Soraka and Janna to test them out. But Sona is just really good. I like getting the tier on Sona.
Still you go to?
Instead of boots. Yeah. You rush the sensor, you win lane for free because you have Iron Sensor.
You get flamed by the Compete League chat.
God, those guys are not the greatest players. See, dude performed.
Careful, they might end up listening to this at some point. And they're gonna find you.
Oh no!
Hey man, if they want to prove me it's bad, they can try and beat me. But yeah, that's mostly it for what I've been playing solo queue. I think Kane is like a top. I think Kane might be one of the best jungles in solo queue behind like Sejuani.
Think we'll see him in competitive? Besides contracts, maybe pulling it out again for some reason.
Didn't some
Wasn't-
wildcard team pull it out?
I think Caps was playing it in regular season.
Well, yeah, but they nerfed solo lane Kane. So solo lane
Oh,
Kane
okay.
worked because you'd go. Well, dots would count for. Each dot would count as one orb.
Deathfire Touch would
So
do
you go Deathfire Touch and Corrupting Potion, and you'd like hit them with a W, and you'd get your evolve by 7 minutes. But now you can't get your evolve till
One thing I hate about Kane is the fact that you have to
12-minute mark
wait.
usually.
You have to wait. What is it? 4 minutes?
If you want the other form.
Yeah, that's so obnoxious.
Well, so
Just
here's
let me
the thing.
pick which form.
Well, so here's the thing. It's not as bad as you think it is. So it was bad until everyone figured out the algorithm for how it decided. All it decides is whatever champion, whatever orb color gave you your evolve, like your form change, that's the one that you get. So you could get 99% of your bar filled by with ranged champion Shadow Assassins. But
is the bar visible?
Yeah, you can see it on
And
your,
like you can see like almost like XP where you know
Yeah,
where it ends.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a circle around a champion portrait. Or near your champion portrait. So if you spend the entire game hitting ranged champions and then like you're one orb away from like Shadow Assassin and you hit a melee champion, you get Rost.
But that's stupid anyway. Like just make it so you can just pick. That
Yeah,
you don't
I
have to
agree.
worry about it.
I agree. Honestly, most of the time you get like of all the games I've played, I think only once I got the form I didn't want. And that was because I was clearing my jungle going to gank like mid lane, and as I was clearing it, the jungle showed up.
Oh.
And I didn't want to fight. I was actually going to run away, but my bot lane was collapsing, and we fought and got 3 kills.
But you're like, no, I have to wait 4 minutes.
And then I got the wrong form I wanted. So
it's just obnoxious.
So, like-
Riot, come on.
But realistically, unless like they force interaction on you, or the other time I did it, I got the wrong one. Is I had to go save bot lane from a dive, and we picked up like 2 kills, but I got the wrong form. But that's like 2 out of like 20 games, so it's not that bad once you figure out the algorithm for how it works.
All right, so now I got a big question for you guys. Big news this week coming out.
oh yeah.
Right.
North America goes back to best of ones for normal regular season.
Ugh.
Thoughts?
I think in terms of keeping NA a good region, this
Define
has
good region.
Yeah, I was about to say
Okay.
keeping.
in terms of keeping NA. You guys think all of NA's getting out of groups? I don't know.
I don't think all of them is getting out of groups.
I got 3, but I'll admit some of that's hope.
Anyways,
I mean, the guy who won last year was drunk off his mind when he made his pick, so you never know.
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
continue.
Oh no, maybe it was last year. Where you
Regardless.
Anyways, so I think that if you want to keep NA as the best possible region it can be, this is the wrong way to go. and there's no way to justify it. This is the correct way to do it. Like, there's no reasonable justification as this is going to help NA get better.
Competitively, I agree.
Yeah,
the
I
problem
would agree
is,
as well.
I think there's a steady decline in viewership, which also hurts NA. I think it hurts them in a form competitively as well. You're not getting viewers, you're not getting money, you can't pay your pros.
So remember, you can. Do you remember when C9 made that gauntlet run?
Yes.
Yep.
They played 14 games over the course of 3 days. Do you know how many they played over that entire split?
18.
Yeah, they played 4 less games in 3 days.
I did not say I think this is the correct format. I think this is a way to go, and that a best of 3 is too much for the casual viewer to take.
Yes, and that's where the change really is.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think the issue is. When they had the dual streams going on, I would watch the better game. Unless TSM was playing some like bottom tier team like Team Liquid, then I'd watch that one because I like TSM. But like those were the only TL games. The only time I watched a TL game was if they were versus TSM, because TL is a terrible team, and I liked having the 2 streams. And now I just don't.
I think that is a vocal opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think you have the
streams.
minority opinion. I hated the 2-stream format.
I as well did,
because my issue was I'd never with the 2-stream formats. I have no idea how Envy did. I could not tell you where Envy plays.
But do you care about Envy?
I care about knowing the overall state of the league, right? Knowing what team is better than the other ones, and with the current format, I could not keep track of the league. I could keep track of my favorite teams, right? So I like Cloud9, Liquid, and Immortals, right? Those are
say Liquid.
I did say Liquid. I like Liquid, man. I know they're garbage, but I still like Liquid.
All right, for everybody listening, he's not gonna be on the cast next week.
Yeah. I'm the one recording it. Shut up. But anyway, I could follow my 3 favorite teams, but I could not follow the rest of the league, right? Like I knew TSM was either first or second or whatever, but the other teams like Echo Fox, Phoenix One, Envy, FlyQuest, I knew they were bottom half, obviously, but I didn't know where. I didn't know if, Echo Fox was better than FlyQuest. Right? I couldn't follow those smaller team storylines because of the dual stream format, as well as I just watched less. Like, one of the things I like to do with the best of 1 format is I'll go to the gym, and I'll pull it up on my phone and get on a treadmill, right? And watch it on the treadmill, and I'll be there for however long I'm there, and then I'll come back and put it on my TV or whatever. With the dual stream and the best of 3s, it was just too much for me to be able to watch. So as a viewer, I prefer best of 1s.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely the best way to get viewers. My issue is, I don't care about watching Team Liquid play, and now there's going to be a time. Oh, like before, if there was 2 bottom tier teams playing, like Team Liquid versus P1 or whatever, I didn't have to watch that. I could just like watch the other stream and see what that was. But now
what if the other stream was just as bad?
Well, what if stream 1 was Liquid Phoenix 1 and the other one was Echo Fox Envy, right?
I mean, that was possible to happen, but the odds of that happening were very rare. Because not only would they have to be playing, they'd also have to be playing at the same time slot. Whereas now you're just stuck watching it no matter. Whereas before, after like a little bit, you'd be done with like those trash teams. Whereas now, like, you're just stuck with like these trash teams, and they have to like both go on one after the other.
Yeah.
And I just think it's very, like, I just think it's very bad to play this few games, play 18 games in a split.
This I very much agree with. Now the question though becomes, where do you draw the middle ground between getting viewers and getting competitive?
Well, I mean,
without viewers, the LCS doesn't exist, right?
Especially now with the money coming in, you don't get money.
Yeah, with the change to franchising, which we can go over.
But do you know how else NA doesn't? You know how else will lower viewership is if NA just like becomes like a wild card region.
Yeah, but NA's never going to be a wild card region.
We kind of were. We had to fight for a play-in spot.
Yeah.
Well, but we already had 2. Right? The thing is, NA always is probably going to have one of the higher salaries. Right?
Yeah.
With franchising coming in, players are going to start making more money. That's going to attract the better players to NA. That in and of itself is going to make NA a better region.
I just don't like how Riot will spend like 2 years spouting off competitive integrity, and then do this thing, which is do a move that is blatantly bad for the competitive scene.
But
Now,
to be
what
fair,
I need
the
to point out then
competitive-
is that this was not just Riot. They
Yeah.
spoke to owners who obviously are in it for the money, but they spoke to players as well. And most players agreed best of ones were better for the league.
To be fair,
Unless
there's-
you're
to be fair,
Pobelter.
to be fair, there's no proof that the majority of the players agreed to that.
I'm
I'm
gonna take their word because that's
Yeah.
exactly what they said. A majority of players. I know that's probably just speech.
Again,
but
are they talking about active players? Or are they talking about like random
they
subs that
said
never see
through
play?
the player association, and my guess is that involves active players.
And I mean,
don't-
if that wasn't true, then everybody would be being like, well, what the fuck are you talking about?
well, I mean, the players might not know what each other player voted for. Because like Pobelter, for example, is coming out saying he thinks it's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
Cody's
but
son
like,
came out
it's
saying
not
a
hard for
terrible idea.
Pobelter to message Bjergsen and be like, hey, did you vote for this? Right?
For example, I think Sneaky said he preferred best of threes.
Sneaky said, well, no. So Sneaky hasn't said anything since then, but
somebody said something on the stream.
a couple months ago, he said that he prefers best
okay.
of threes way more than best of ones.
Okay,
And
but
he's-
that might be in a competitive best. You're balancing out getting viewers and making being competitive.
It's again like the whole competitive integrity thing. A
Except
best of
for
three
example-
format is definitely a better competitive format.
So
I don't think anybody's
to
disagreeing.
me,
on that.
I think all the owners are going to agree with Riot no matter what, just because they need to look good.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I
think
disagree.
Do all the owners still want to stay in Riot's good graces for franchising?
No, my point is, I think they automatically agree with this decision anyways, because it means everybody's getting equal and more views. So
Yeah.
I think they were all with it, whether it was Riot's opinion or not.
Well,
I think that's what they wanted.
I understand for the lower tier trash teams, like Steve was one of the people that came out and said he loved it. But I mean,
Yeah,
if I was
but
Liquid too,
it's
I
Steve.
would
But
love anyone.
let me
watching
put it
my
this way.
games.
Even TSM is getting not a longer view, but everybody that was watching TSM is still going to be watching TSM. Maybe you get more people watching now that it's not 3 hours you have to donate the time.
Yeah, like I never watched the TSM games because like I'm not a big
To be
TSM
fair,
fan.
I also wonder how much this viewership is going by VODs, because maybe they can monetize those in some way.
Maybe
I watch on
I
VODs
just-
because I
the
can't
only way
do
I
the
could
time.
keep up with the current method was by watching the highlight reels that Riot was putting out on YouTube.
I just
Right,
Oh, I
that's
tend
it.
to go to the VODs on the site.
I just think it's way more important to I just like Dyrus also came out and said that as a if he was a player he would not support, he would like be really upset about this change. All the pro players are obviously gonna have different decisions, but from what I've seen,
I don't think it makes anybody any worse.
Yes,
right?
it does. I don't think it makes anyone any better.
I don't think it makes anybody any better, but it doesn't make
Now-
NA as a region worse.
I
don't think.
I think so. I think
Now,
if
to
there's gonna
be
be
fair,
a change,
just to
it's only
mention-
gonna be a change for the worse.
Yeah, just to mention, Riot and other players have also said they don't think much of their increases come through best of threes. I agree there's some there, but they think a lot of it is better infrastructure and better practices and scrims, which Riot has said they're going to try and continue improving. They haven't
to
said
be fair,
how, but
how can Riot improve scrim culture? That's
the
idiotic.
thought is maybe taking control of it or hosting it. One of the suggestions I saw was hosting an arena to do the scrims in.
Yeah, that seems insane to me.
So you get the feel of it means more when you
Can
leave
the-
your gaming house to do a scrim on the
Do the
correct.
scrims
teams
take
can already-
place on
most
the
teams al-
competitive server?
No, they
on
do
the
not.
tourney realm. Scrims do.
Scrims
They
do?
take place. Do they? Are you sure?
Yeah, because Riot doesn't. Oh, have you heard about this? Riot does. So first off, you're not allowed to screen. So there was a time when a lot of pros were not happy. Well, none of the pros are happy about the server move for like 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So
It wasn't even that long ago.
it was like
It was last
it was
year.
like mid season 5.
Was it?
Yeah.
Man, it feels like it was.
So
No, there's no way.
it was mid season 5. Last year was
Forget that
Dynamic
part.
Q. Anyways,
Regardless.
so what happened was a lot of pros were threatening to just not play on it and play on Tourney Realm because they can get better ping. And so Mark Z actually set up this whole system that would get pros to play with other pros. They'd all go on the same time and do it. And then Riot said, because Riot started getting worried about this, because if all the pros stopped playing on the ladder, first off, it would make the ladder less important. The big way rookies, especially at the time, got on teams was based off of like recommendations from other pro players.
Yeah.
And also, how can you tell if a rookie's tearing it up in solo queue if they're playing against other random solo queuers?
Yeah, not
True.
the real
So,
competitive people.
So Riot, I think, got nervous about this, so they said, fine, you can do that, but no one's allowed to stream if they're on the tourney realm.
which I guess is kind of fair.
It's kind of dumb. And then
I'm not arguing it's dumb,
and then
but
did you hear about what Riot did with Delta Fox?
No.
So Delta Fox was going to scrim with the BT
Echo.
with Echo Fox, like whatever their non-stars were going to be. And what ended up happening was Riot said they didn't say you weren't allowed to, but they were strongly suggesting that they should not do that.
yeah, because you're taking yourself out of pool of your actual peers just to try and prove a point.
Well, they weren't trying to prove a point. I was gonna think of the views that those games would have gotten would have been amazing for Echo Fox and the streamers, but Riot was like, no.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how Riot themselves are going to change scrim culture. That seems like a player and team
Like I said,
thing.
I think it's going to be more of a you're not practicing on whatever realm. You go into like a studio somewhere, maybe, and you do your scrims there, so you have the feeling of being at the.
I honestly
at
think
that
even just
match.
like
most teams already do that though. No one actually scrims from home. Everyone goes to an office
Oh, really?
to scrim. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. CLG has a workout facility they go to. Echo Fox has their own office they go to. No one scrims at home anymore because they want to separate work from play.
All right. So then again, to my question, where do you draw the line? Do you? I've seen some players talk up best of twos. Seeing Europe, we already know nobody really likes that. That aren't.
Yeah, I don't
To
like
be
best of
fair,
twos.
would you rather have a best of one over a best of two?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I
Because-
think the important thing here is to realize, Evan, you are not a casual viewer.
No, but like, why would you guys rather have a best of
I
one
want a
over
winner.
a best of two?
Yeah, exactly. I
But-
want a winner.
so the point
the
of best
whole
of-
introduction of ties.
The
just
point of best of
complicates
twos
things.
isn't to decide a winner; it's to decide. In my opinion, playoff
It's-
regular season shouldn't even be about winning. It's the whole point of the regular season is to decide your seeding into playoffs. And
Which I
best
understand,
of two,
but-
and best of twos are way more accurate than best of ones to decide your seeding into playoffs.
Very much so they are. But I want a winner. I don't want a 1-1 match.
See, to me,
Ever.
all best of ones will bring are stupid storylines. Like, is Gravity the best team in NA? Gravity better than
agree.
TSM? It's like, no, this is so idiotic. Because once they got to best of fives, they 3-0'd them.
Yeah, but
And
then
Best
then
of
you
twos has a
you
lot of
have your
bonuses
answer
to
there.
it.
Is
but
Gravity the best team in NA?
No, but
No.
I had to listen to this for literally like 90% of the split until people realized that all they did was cheese, and they figured out how to play against it. And that was
True.
like so idiotic.
But like it also speaks to Gravity that they were able to cheese their way through the regular season.
But cheesing your
right?
way through regular season doesn't make you a good team. It makes you
It makes you better than the people who are, 7th place who lost to you a bunch of times.
no. It doesn't make them better because if they finished above TSM, I actually don't remember. I think they finished above
I
TSM.
don't think they did.
No, I think they finished second.
What, Gravity? No, TSM and Gravity played in
Yeah, I think TSM had the higher seed.
in quarterfinals. But either way, that doesn't make Gravity a better team. Like, just because like you do something really cheesy and win, that doesn't make you a better team. Like
I
winning
will
a best
argue
of
this.
one literally
The better
means nothing.
team is the team that wins. You
Yeah.
earlier
No, that
said
is
that
not true.
Longju is the better team because they won Korea.
They won a best of 5 in Korea.
They won. I agree. There's more adaption to prove you're better over time, but a win is apparently a win to decide who wins the crown.
Within reason. Yes.
At the end
I
of the
don't think
day,
a
it's not
best-
going to change who wins NA, right?
Realistically, no. I just
I mean,
think,
like, it potentially could,
I think
right?
it
you could
will
have a
actually
Gravity
hurt
situation
something that nobody's
where-
talking about. Subs are now useless.
yeah, that's the big that I was gonna get
Yeah,
into that.
that's fair.
Like, you can't test out your roster if like you can realistically only test out your so first off by
If you're
testing
willing
out
to
your
risk a
roster
game.
by testing out your roster, you're pretty much giving up first and second place because you're going to be taking losses.
How would you feel about best of ones if they played more games in the regular season?
That one? I don't think that would fix the issue because
Now, there was two ways to do this. I actually looked into this. There's one where you extend the season, and the other is more games in a season. And the pros say they do not want to do that because that's too much
Yeah, so
studying having to do for more people per week.
you guys didn't play back in season 3, and I don't know if season 4. I think it was only.
I think
season
I
3.
was.
So
I wasn't.
in season 3, they had these things called Super Weeks. So every team would
Yeah, I
play 2
remember that.
games, and then
And they hated it.
Super Week would come around, and you'd play 4 teams. And that was terrible because teams couldn't prepare for 4 teams all in like one weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
yeah,
they
I
would
can
prepare
see
for
that.
like 2 teams. You had a lot of weird upsets, and that was like terrible. So
Now, go ahead.
I actually think there's 3 solutions. One of the solutions is make the season longer, which that is not the correct one because you'd have
Correct.
to change all the other seasons,
Yeah.
all the other leagues, and that would be the wrong solution. One is to have more games on a weekend and that was just not the right solution either because that just makes it even harder to prep for. The last one is do what LCK does and just have your games throughout the entire week.
Now, before we get into that one, because I think it's the correct solution, I've seen another one pitched. Spring season is best of 1.
Oh, I saw
Fall
that one.
season is best of 3. So you get the spring season to try out your roster.
And then
Fall season becomes
summer.
competitive, so you're prepping for Worlds.
I actually wouldn't mind that.
Honestly, this is an idea that other people have pitched, but
To be fair, I saw this on Reddit.
I would much rather have it be I saw that. I think Thorn pitched this idea is that the entire fall is just, or the entire spring is just international tournaments. So like once a month, or like once every 3 weeks, there's an international.
I
tournament.
wouldn't watch that. Like I never watch IEM.
No. But it's like Riot sponsored international tournaments.
Even still,
With, like,
I feel like
prize
I feel like if
pools,
you have too many
and then,
international tournaments, they lose their fun.
But like not every team would. So I'm not sure like how they would do the details of it, but maybe like a certain amount of teams each time would go, and then like your placements in like if multiple your placement in these tournaments could like affect MSI or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Or and I think that would be a way more because 2 international tournaments, one and you. So my issue is you never get to see how like the 4th place teams from each region play against each other.
True. But that's because the 4th place team, they didn't win enough to deserve to go.
Well, honestly, I would love to see like the 6th place Korean team just beat all the other teams, all the other non-Korean teams. I think that'd be really interesting.
Isn't that what SKT did? Weren't they like 4th or 5th at one point during the season?
Yeah,
they went to
they went as the second to last seed. They had to play in the wild card to get into their playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they ran train.
So now what you were saying is the idea, to bring it back, of more games throughout the week.
Yeah.
I'd say like football does. Instead of just Sunday games, you got Monday and Thursday as well.
I think more like baseball, or even like LCK does it, where every game every week, like one game a night or like 2 games a night. I think that's the
issue I've seen with that is then certain teams, certain weeks have more time to prep than others.
Yeah, and then the other thing is just like, right, if you get a day where it's Liquid Echo Fox, nobody watches.
Well, that's why you have 2 games every day.
But even still, nobody watches Liquid Echo Fox.
I mean,
right?
no one's. If you're
And
odds are if you're not going to watch Liquid Echo Fox, like when that's the only league game going on, you're not going to watch them anyways.
But in a best of 1 format like they have now, if Liquid Echo Fox is sandwiched between like TSM Cloud9 and CLG Immortals, you might watch it, right?
Oh, the other issue I have with best of 1s is the same thing I had with best of 3s. Oh, that best of 2s does the best. So let's say, so you play each team twice. Let's say when I face, when I play, let's say like CLG and TSM play. TSM has red side, and at the start of the year, red side has like a 65% win rate, right?
To be fair, they changed this rule. You now get side choice.
Who gets side choice?
I think it's the first team gets it. The second time they play, the second team gets side choice.
Well, even then, let's say like TSM picks red side when red side has a 60% win rate. Then later on in the season, it's like a 50%, like a 51-49% win rate, and COG's like, well, I guess we don't get like our giant bonus to winning.
That's adaption.
That's terrible. No, that's not adaption. That's just
that works.
But like there's,
I just, whereas a best of 2, each team gets each side. It's a much
that
better
best of
display.
2 is the best for competitive. Again, I think it's a loss of viewers, especially in North America, where there has to be a winner.
I just don't get how a company can preach how much like their buzzword competitive integrity, and then just
the
like
new
do something
buzzword
like
is
this.
viewers. Viewer experience is the new buzzword.
Because the other thing is with the franchising coming in, teams are now going to start getting more revenue from other places, like the Twitch screen.
This is something else I wanted to mention. We keep shitting on Echo Fox and Liquid and other teams. They may not be the same team next year. There's going to be a lot of players looking for new spots. There's going to be new teams entirely. So it could be a more competitive overall league.
Is there
most likely won't be, but it could be.
One last thing before we end it for tonight. If you had to pick any organization to enter the league that isn't already in the league, who would you pick?
What do you mean?
So what like team?
Like another esports, like say like a CS:GO team that isn't
any other organization.
I unfortunately don't follow much else, so I'll listen to you guys.
Pick like any baseball team or like any.
Okay.
Like any type of organization, because you know a lot of people are partnering with like sports teams and stuff.
Yeah.
Literally any other organization to enter the league, who would you take?
As a New England fan, I'm tempted to say the Patriots, but screw that. Uh, you know what I think we need is I think Echo Fox is working on this. I think we need a team with a big personality in it,
So like who?
where they don't actually yell at people for talking, step down on people for having an attitude like Dardoch, or
Are you thinking like
trying to talk out.
Are you thinking like a Mark Cuban?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Yeah,
thinking,
something
like
like
a Mike
that.
Cuban.
See,
Something where they don't mind being the big voice in the league, even if they can't always back it up.
yeah. So you'd want a Mark Cuban, but you'd want Mark Cuban to take like a Rick Fox type of stance in the team.
Yeah, you know what I'd want? I'd want Mike Tomlin's Steelers. Even when they suck, he's always on top of it, trying to say whatever he wants.
Would he realistically be looking to own a team though?
No, you just said who would I want?
Yeah, but
and I don't mean him exactly. I mean that kind of a character.
So who would you want? See,
to
me
actually
personally,
do it.
I would love to see Tempo Storm and have Reynad come in with like his Reynad. I'm not sure if Reynad would have the time to, but Reynad has a very hands-on approach with his stuff.
I want a FaZe Clan lol where they just all play
God,
Caitlyn.
that'd be so great. You know, but oh god,
That would be really mean. Get one of the Dota people.
What's he? Oh, like a Navi?
Just a Dota team and have them come in the league.
I want Sirens to come in. I don't have a legitimate answer for this question, so I'm just gonna troll.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't know enough other organizations.
I would love to see Temple Storm in. Temple Storm's a pretty good organization. They have Hearthstone team, they have a Heroes team, they have a CS:GO team, they have Smash Brothers players. See, Temple Storm was like started the same way in Hearthstone, the way Reggie started in League was like he was just a popular streamer that made his own brand and like put out tons of content. So I would really like to see Temple Storm get into League.
Well, to be fair, I'm assuming we're not getting all 10 teams, and it's not all going to be challenger teams. I think we will get one or two new organizations.
Mark out for you?
No. Everyone's headset's breaking.
Nobody wants to listen to me.
apart.
I think we'll get new organizations. It's just a matter of the quality, and I think that's going to take time to get there.
So we're gonna call it at Evan's headset breaking. Is that how this is gonna work?
Genius.
Well, we're pushing 2 hours anyway, so we probably should wrap it up.
Oh, maybe your phone died.
If you actually made it through to the end, we very much
thank
thank you.
My phone died. Hell yeah.
All right. Well,
you guys are useless.
We know a limit for how long each episode should be.
I mean, I can just plug in my phone.
All right. So if you made it to the end, thank you very much, and
next time
hit us up
we'll
with any
have our
suggestions.
Fourth person, Brent.
Yeah, hopefully.
And he has some interesting perspectives on the game.
Yeah,
Just
he
play
says we're all
Vladimir.
shitters.
No, he also likes Swain.
Very true.
All right, is that it?
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.